You can learn a lot from him.
You know, that first year you're kind of figuring things out, and then second year, you know, it's the offense, and you understand it, and now you understand the fine details, and Coop's running the show really, really well.
Last year, Rush didn't win the number 2 job for Moore until mid-season. This year, he's off to another good start. He threw for 145 yards and a touchdown on August 9th against the 49ers.
One thing I know about Coop when he's in is he moves the team. The chains move, we get in the end zone with him, and I don't think that's going to change, you know, regardless of what group he goes in. You know you're just one snap away from playing, and he's embraced that, and I think he's really shown to me that he's much more ready in a lot of ways going into the season as a potential backup or as our backup than he would have been a year ago.
In his second training camp, Rush is focused on improving his footwork, his drops, and his movement inside the pocket.
You know, when you see a guy open, let it rip. Go through your reads and just trust it and really let it go.
And this is really an overall youth movement, guys, at the quarterback position. We know Dak Prescott's a young starter in the league, but the backups, the Cowboys are investing in youth back there. We mentioned Mike White, Cooper Rush. They've tried older backups, Matt Castle, Brandon Whedon, Mark Sanchez. Didn't really work out. So they're trying to invest in a guy like Cooper Rush and hope he can develop into a solid backup.
You know, Rob, at this point, we've only seen one preseason game, but I think from what we've seen in practice, Cooper Rush is in the lead for that backup job. And Mike White, he's battling for a roster spot, I think.
Right, I think and we saw it a little bit with Cooper last year, Mick. You know, things are moving fast for him. He's taking some time going through his reads, trying to make the right decision, trying not to make a mistake. Cooper Rush looks like the solid number 2 right now, and I think his experience is showing. And he shows up in these games. We'll see what happens tonight, but when the lights come on, Cooper Rush plays better, I think, in games than he does in practice.
And Lindsey, we'll see what happens with Mike White. Let's face it, it was his first NFL appearance in a preseason game. This game will be very important to him.
All right, Rob, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to come down here and join us. Mickey and I are going to take our final break here from AT&T Stadium. The stage is getting set. Get your All right, final thoughts coming your way. Hope you guys can hear us because Mickey and I can barely hear each other. It is getting loud in here at AT&T Stadium, Mickey. I am going to have my eyes on the running backs tonight. Behind Ezekiel Elliott and Rod Smith, Jameis Olawale is the fullback. Who could that third person be? I got my eye on Bo Scarborough.
I'm going to keep my eye on the pyro that's getting ready to go off behind us. Look,
close.
It's obvious. I want to see Randy Gregory in pads.
Yes.
He hadn't been in pads since the end of the 2016 season. He's in pads in practice. He looks great. Now what happens in the game? I just think it's phenomenal that not only at this point he got his life back in order, but that he shows that he can play football too. And I think he's got some uncommon skills. Now the other guy I want to keep an eye on would be the offensive line. There's probably not going to be Travis Frederick out there. Joe Looney's the backup. He's going to be out there, and that's a different game than for Connor Williams, the rookie second-round draft choice. He had a slow start in San Francisco. He got better as the game went on. So, Lindsey, keep an eye on those things, and you better hurry.
I know, yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Countdown to Kickoff. Mick, this was fun. Good to be back here at AT&T Stadium, and keep it right here for the Cowboys hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Enjoy the game.
The Dallas Cowboys presentation of Countdown to Kickoff, presented by AT&T, was sponsored by Resorts World Bimini, the hidden gem of the Bahamas, Bank of America, official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. 7-Eleven, coming soon. You can collect 7 Dallas Cowboys cups with your favorite players, only at participating 7-Eleven and Striped stores for a limited time. AT&T, more for your thing. That's our thing. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. Want to tour AT&T Stadium? For more information, call 817-892-TOUR. 7-Eleven and Striped stores for a limited time.
It's 101 degrees outside in Arlington, Texas. Good reason to have that roof closed on this August evening. as it's the Cowboys preseason home opener. The Cowboys hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Good to be home sweet home after some 25 days in Southern California in Oxnard at training camp. Bill Jones along with Babe Laufenberg and Marcus Spears. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys football. The starters will play a little bit longer tonight. Other than that, Babe, what can we expect different from last week?
I think when the young guys get in there, Bill, they'll get back to playing football. It's interesting how you can watch them for 3 weeks at training camp, which I did, and all of a sudden they get out there and they lose their mind. They were playing with a good technique in camp. You can't wait to see them. And, hey, it's the NFL. No matter how big a stage you played on in college, it's different. So I do see them getting back to playing football today. And it's not unlike, Bill, you have a teenager, right? You come home, boy or girl, and all of a sudden it's like, where did this person come? Where did my nice little boy go, right? They become teenagers. But, Marcus, I know there's a couple of people on the defensive side of the ball that you're going to have your eye on tonight.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, all the talk was about Antoine Woods, the defensive tackle, and I thought he had a great day against San Francisco, getting penetration, causing some havoc in the backfield. And Randy Gregory is supposed to play today. 10 plays is what he's supposed to get. I'm interested to see how well he does today. I heard a lot of things about what he did at camp with fresh legs and so on and so on. And also jumping over to the offensive side of the ball, Michael Gallup. Can he continue to assert himself? Touchdown from Dak last week. Obviously, this receiver core and Dak are trying to get on the same page. If they get time, how well will they do in the second game?
Should be interesting against Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go down to the sideline and welcome in Lindsey Draper. Hello, Lindsey.
Thank you very much, Bill. Guys, all the talk down here is about defensive end Randy Gregory. He's played 2 games in 32 months. He practiced at training camp in Oxnard this past week. And defensive coordinator Rod Marinelli tells me he'll get 10 snaps tonight. That is their goal. I said, after all of this time, are you a little emotional about finally seeing Randy play? He said 2 words, go rush. Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones both told me before the game the challenge for Randy is still here. It is ongoing, but this is a big step tonight.
All right, Lindsey will be on the sidelines for us throughout the evening. Jason Garrett and the Cowboys with preseason game number 2 against the Cincinnati Bengals. And Jordan Lewis, the deep man for Dallas, as the Cowboys will receive to start this one. Great night for football here in Arlington. The Cowboys returned on the team charter from Oxnard, California yesterday, so just settling back in at home, while the Bengals playing on the road for the first time this preseason, as Randy Bullock has the football teed up. Should be a good Saturday evening. It'll be interesting to see how long the starters play. Last week, Dak Prescott and the starting offense had that one series, a 75-yard drive in which Prescott was 3 for 3, perfect throwing the football, had the touchdown pass to the rookie 3rd-round draft pick Michael Gallup. The kick from Randy Bullock, and it's Jordan Lewis from a yard deep in the end zone. And hit hard and brought down at around the 23-yard line. That's where Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense will take over. 3 for 3 for 39 yards a week ago. Babe, that is a perfect rating at 158.3.
Yeah, and they liked exactly what happened last week. Again, he's going to play a little longer this week. They wanted one drive. They wanted 10 to 12 plays. They wanted him to finish it with a score, and that's exactly what happened.
No Ezekiel Elliott once again this week. He plays this preseason. It would be in next week's game, a Sunday night game at Arizona. Jeff Swaim, number 87, the tight end, is in motion. Rod Smith with the handoff gets a yard out to the 24-yard line. And it is the Miller Lite lineup for the Cowboys on offense. Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Joe Looney starting for Travis Frederick, who has been dealing with some stingers in that shoulder area, had it checked out this week. Zach Martin and Lyle Collins up front. Rod Smith got that first carry. Jameis Olawale, the fullback. Alan Hearns, Terrence Williams. Jeff Swaim gets the start at tight end. Williams to the near side of the field. Here on this 2nd and 8 for the Cowboys. It's Blake Jarwin, the other tight end in motion. It's Swaim and Jarwin in the game on this play. 2 tight ends set. And there's Blake Jarwin out of Oklahoma State. Stopped short of a first down by the Oklahoma Sooner, Jordan Evans.
Boy, and Connor Williams, the rookie from Texas, he's going to have his hands full because he's got Geno Atkins. Check him out over there at the left side. He just gets shoved right into Dak Prescott's lap. That's my concern with Connor Williams. Is he big enough right now at 21 years old to have that kind of anchor to stop those bull rushes? Right there he wasn't.
Well, going up against a 6-time Pro Bowler in Geno Atkins, who led all NFL interior defensive linemen in sacks last year with 9. And on the slant, there's a first down. Completion to Michael Gallup.
The timing has looked good for Dak so far. It looked like him and his guys are in sync, on the same page. Second route underneath that he's been able to hit in that slant type movement that they have going on in the secondary.
A perfect throw by Dak, exactly where you want that slant. Just let your wide receiver put it in his chest, let him wrap up around it, and get the first down for you.
First down for the Cowboys at the 38. Michael Gallup had that 30-yard touchdown catch a week ago. Wasn't a perfect route that he ran, but he finished it perfectly with the touchdown. Rod Smith is stopped after a 1-yard pickup.
Funny, you get back to that, and Jason Garrett talked during the week, not specifically about that play, but he talked about the fact that sometimes they use the proper technique and the result doesn't end up well, and they're kind of, you get a plus for that. Sometimes the result is good, but the technique is not great. On that play, on that 30-yard touchdown, Gallup ran a terrible route. The defensive fault. La'el Collins is at right tackle, should have been flagged for a false start. He was a full second before the ball got snapped coming out of his stance, but it all looked good right in the box score at the end of the day.
Right. That's exactly right. 2nd and 9 from the 39. Dak fires incomplete on the near side, looking for Blake Jarwin.
That's where Blake Jarwin's going to have to earn his money. Out there on the outside, 2 tight end set. They got Swaim to the inside on the right, and Dak just a little bit wide, leading Jarwin out of it. You know, sometimes you get used on that comeback like that, a wide receiver running a route. They're going to get in and out of it a lot quicker than a guy who weighs 255, which Jarwin does.
So 3rd and 9. Got Alan Hearns in the slot to the left side. Terrence Williams flanked out wide left. Michael Gallup the right side. And out of the shotgun, short delivery to the 42-yard line. That's Alan Hearns, and it's going to be punt time for the Cowboys.
Cincinnati brought a little pressure off the edge just to speed the timing of this play up, and then you come down and make a tackle. That was a good job by their defense. That's what you're trying to do to offenses in those 3rd and long situations. Speed the timing up and try to get a guy down on the ground short of the sticks.
Yeah, Marcus, there's 2 ways to play that. One, you play back in zone, you play the sticks, make him throw it underneath. The other is you come after him, make him throw the break off. That's what they did there.
Chris Jones on to punt. Ends it up near the video board. John Ross, the speedster back, lets it go inside the 5-yard line. And Andy Dalton and the Bengals will have horrible field position for their first possession. 11:30 to play after a 54-yard punt from Chris Jones. In the game to start this one out, it's Sean Lee.
Yeah, and don't tell him it's a preseason game, okay?
That's right.
Because he draws no distinction, Marcus, between a preseason game, a Super Bowl, and a walkthrough at practice.
No question. That is exactly what makes him great at his job and one of the best in this league.
As he's alongside Jalen Smith there, as the Bengals take over on offense from their own 4-yard line, with Andy Dalton at quarterback handing off to Joe Mixon, and not much running room, and one of those pursuing number 54, Jalen Smith. As we take a look at the starting lineup for the Cowboys, brought to you by Miller Lite, as DeMarcus Lawrence, Daniel Ross getting the start alongside 64 Antoine Woods, inside Tyrone Crawford at the right defensive end. It's Sean Lee, Jalen Smith, and Damian Wilson in the base defense. Byron Jones and Cheeto Awuzie on the corners, Jeff Heath and Xavier Woods the safeties. The lineup's brought to you by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. On 2nd and long,
there's Antoine Woods.
Antoine Woods. Marcus has his eye on number 64, the guy out of USC.
I really do, Bill. I love his penetration. Look, and he's built for leverage, which is very important when you're playing in that technique.
Now we'll see a lot of Antoine Woods early in this one. We won't see a lot of Sean Lee. So get your dose of Sean Lee now, because I don't anticipate him playing very long in this game. They kept him in bubble wrap the first couple of weeks of training camp in Oxnard. He probably begged his way onto the field. 3rd down. Dalton with time, throws deep down the left sideline and overshoots A.J. Green.
When he had him too, they ran a little pick play out, had a slot to the left side of that Cowboys left side of the Cincinnati formation, right side of the Cowboys defense. The left side of your screen here, you see the little pick. They work it to perfection. Andy Dalton just misses A.J. Green. That's one of the problems Cincinnati had. Well, they had a lot last year, but their offense finished last in the league, but they did not generate big plays in the passing game. As a matter of fact, they tied with the Cowboys for the 4th fewest 20-plus passing plays. It becomes a hard way to make a living.
They didn't generate big plays in the run game either. They were near the bottom of the league in rushing the football. Lance Lenore takes it from his own 38 with some running room. Got a 12-yard return out to midfield. And the Cowboys will have real good field position here as they take over on offense for the second time. With 10-11 to play here in the first quarter, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense back at it again. Now is a good time to order a Papa John's pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. Cowboys gained 7 yards on the exchange with the Bengals not able to move the ball on offense. A 3 and out. They punted it away from their own 42. Get it back at their own 49. Terrence Williams in motion across the backfield. Dak Prescott's 2nd series in this game. And over the middle to his tight end Jeff Swaim near the first down marker. A pickup of about 9 yards. 2nd and short coming up.
Let's go back to the previous play here. This is Tyler Boyd's going to come down, set a pick coming up inside. Right here on Anthony Brown, you're going to see A.J. Green come up the sideline. Let it run here. And you got to figure out, are we going to go under him or over the top of him? Right there, Anthony Brown goes under, and it's over. Again, got fortunate that Andy Dalton missed A.J. Green.
2nd and 2. Rod Smith trying the left side, has the first down inside the 40-yard line. The other thing you notice on that defensive play, number 94 Randy Gregory was in the game as well for the Cowboys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And babe, going back to what you said about that pick route, is similar in basketball. You go underneath, free jump shot. Andy Dalton just has to hit the shot next time.
Well, then the antennae has to go up. When you see those two receivers that close together, you got to be anticipating, hey, this could be a pick play here. Of course, offense calls it a rub. They don't use the word pick.
Sure they do. Sure they do.
But we know what they're up to, don't we?
From the 39, picking his hole is Rod Smith, trying to get some yardage up the middle.
Joe Looney starting at center for the Cowboys. Of course, Travis Frederick suffered a couple of stingers during the week. They expect him to be okay. But one thing about Joe Looney, he's got a great sense of humor. Everybody loves him. There you see number 73 breaking the huddle, coming over the ball. But it belies the fact that this is a competitive guy. I mean, he's been having a great camp, in my estimation, as good as I've seen him play in his couple of years here.
Here's Rod Smith out in the open field. Eludes one man. Lowers his shoulder inside the 20-yard line.
Just a great play call for the situation. You dial it up against a blitz. You go into the blitz, and you find the man underneath. Now, the linebacker played this great. Rod Smith did a great job getting to the sideline immediately. That's what you want to do on screen plays. All of the action going one way. He goes the other way. You create a one-on-one situation. Good job picking up the first down.
Funny because those screens against man-to-man sometimes can be really difficult, but if you get it out there, there's nobody behind the first defender. You beat the first defender and off you went.
Preston Brown, the middle linebacker, enough speed to elude him. Dak fires left side high, incomplete. It immediately was Blake Jarwin. Nick Vigil.
Dak wants that one back because they've been working that a lot in training camp with Dak going on the run, finding guys. He's got a big target in Blake Jarwin. Just misses him.
But babe, I would say in the regular season, he's taking off. No, look at it. We have all this green grass over here to the left. He's taking off. It was a smart decision and calculated by Dak. Trying to get that throw in there.
Blake Jarwin going up took a hard fall on his tailbone there at the end of that thing. That was no fun. Dak just needed to bring him back down the line, low and away. He knows it.
So second down from the 18. Draw play. Smith gets a yard. So third and long upcoming once again for the Cowboys.
You know, it'll be interesting here too in the regular season. Very easily could see a blitz coming out of Cincinnati right now. Not real keen about showing their blitz package down in here. Of course, as an offense, even though preseason, you got to be ready for it. Jason Garrett's telling his guys, now don't fall asleep on me.
Terrell Austin, a former defensive coordinator with the Lions, now calling the defenses for the Cincinnati Bengals. Marvin Lewis, the head coach, of course. 3rd and 9, going for the end zone. Overshoots everybody.
Wow. He had Rod Smith in the left flat here. See Rod Smith right here. He's going to just circle out of this thing. Not sure. Dak just sailed that ball. It's got Rod Smith good chance in the left flat to make a first down if he just drops it off. That's what Linehan's probably telling him. Hey, you see all that traffic back there? Just drop it to your back. Let him make a first down for you.
So Dan Bailey is on a 35-yard field goal attempt. And it is good, and the Cowboys are on the board first with 6:40 to play in the first quarter. Back in Arlington, 3-0 Dallas. Yards in 8 plays, the 35-yard field goal from Dan Bailey. Ford, visit your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. As Dak Prescott and Scott Linehan discuss things on the Cowboys sideline. A 3-0 Dallas lead. Brett Maher has the football teed up, ready to kick it off.
Dan Bailey, good for him to get that one on the board. You know, he came back just probably too early. He injured his groin against San Francisco. He was on fire previous to that, missed 5 field goals after that. That wasn't Dan Bailey, not the guy we've come to know.
He was on fire for about 6 years in his career.
Yeah, no kidding.
Up until that.
Yeah, he was. And he missed 2 PATs at returning. First PATs he had missed in his career. So as much as he wanted to get back out there, he just wasn't right.
The Bengals weren't right on offense the first time. We'll see what Andy Dalton can do with a little bit of field position this time against this Cowboys defense, which still has Sean Lee out there. Jalen Smith at linebacker. Damian Wilson, the other linebacker. From the 25. Tyler Boyd, and there is Jeff Heath. Football comes out. Rolled down. Jeff Heath is one of the fastest Cowboys, and he showed it on that play.
He just shot out of a cannon here. Just a great read, too. Look at him just shoot the gap. I love it, too, because in the huddle, Tyler Boyd is sitting there. He knows his number's called. He's like, oh, here comes that fly sweep. I'm going to bust it. Could be 20, could be a touchdown. And then all of a sudden you get the ball and you get drilled.
And you see Marinelli's philosophy. Make sure at home you all pay attention to how fast these guys are moving to the football.
2nd and 13. Randy Gregory in there at right defensive end. And at the 25-yard line, it was a toss-up who was going to come up with that football, and Tyler Boyd has it for a 3-yard pickup back to the original line of scrimmage.
Boy, and Anthony Brown just came like a shot right here. Watch him come up and come after this football.
Thought Anthony Brown was going to come down with it, but Boyd got it for a pickup of 3.
Boyd saying, hey, I've seen enough of this NFL thing. I mean, getting hit. I'd rather pick for A.J. Green like I did on the first series. And
Boyd, 3rd year out of Pitt. 3rd and 10. And short of the first down to his tight end. It's Tyler Kroft. Tyler Eifert has the night off, and Jalen Smith defending, and it's punt time again after another 3 and out for the Bengals.
I tell you what, babe, they're finding something with 54, because what he does, he allows the defense to be multiple because of the ability to cover tight ends one-on-one on the second level. Jalen Smith can change this defense if he continues to cover as well as he's been doing.
Lance Lenore circles under that punt. Now reverses field, takes a hit at the 17. The Cowboys will take over. Will McClay, the Cowboys Vice President of Player Personnel. The Cowboys training camp on Monday afternoon and Tuesday afternoon, 5:30 start time. They take a day off on Wednesday, then on Thursday and Friday, 11 a.m. starts, and then the following Tuesday, 5 open practices free of charge to the public as the Cowboys continue training camp in Frisco. Third series of the game for Dak and the first team offense here as they lead it 3-0. Let's check down with Lindsay Draper on the sideline. Lindsay?
Thanks, Bill. I think you guys in the booth know better than anyone that comparisons to Michael Irvin don't come by too often, but that's what Jerry Jones said during training camp when he was talking about Tavon Austin. He said his emotions, his energy are comparable to Michael Irvin, and I'm getting a glimpse of that on the sidelines. Jason Garrett actually had to pull him back and move him back to the side. It looks like we have a new hype man down here.
And Tavon not playing tonight. He tweaked a hamstring earlier this week. It's not believed to be serious, but just as a precaution, they are not playing him tonight as the completion for the first down goes to Terrence Williams at the 30.
I followed Tavon when he was coming out of high school, had a bunch of highlight tapes.
Boy,
and then when he
go
get to
check
college,
YouTube.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Terrence Williams just does a nice job. He's in the zone. The one thing young receivers do, which Terrence is not, they get in that zone, they get open, and then they get anxious, and they want to move out of it. And it's like, no, just stay there until the quarterback finds you. So good job there. Good patience by Terrence Williams.
Tavon Austin at Baltimore Dunbar High School is a 2-time Maryland Player of the Year, running the football as much as anything. Breaking on that ball was Dre Kirkpatrick. The pass intended for Michael Gallup.
Good coverage all the way around on this bootleg. Everybody's covered up on this one. The last thing you want is Dak running the football in here. Here you see Gallup working that comeback, a little shove there. That's reminiscent of Michael Irvin. Now, you know, Tavon may,
as Jerry would put it, that was
Tavon may have. If we're going to make Irvin comparisons, let's make one there.
That was Irvinish.
You know what the difference was? Michael got separation once he did it.
Yeah, that's right. Caught the ball. 2nd and 10. Hole for Rod Smith, but not much of one as he lunges forward to the 34-yard line.
So funny walking in here. This is a time here. We're going to get about a 3rd and 6 where this was Jason Witten time, right? Y option. How many times did you see it? You knew it was money in the bank. Walking in today, seeing Witten jerseys coming into the stadium, I'm thinking that has now become a throwback jersey.
That's right.
The Witten, for 15 years, it was 3rd and 6. Let's go to Witt on the little Y option. Now it's a throwback jersey.
This is the first time in 16 years the Cowboys have played a game at either Texas Stadium or AT&T Stadium without Jason Witten in the building. Pass is complete to Allen Hurns for the first down.
Nice job by Dak and just buying a little time, stepping right, letting things open up for him. He finds Allen Hurns. Good throw on the run.
Yes, great throw.
You see Hurns in the slot, just setting it right down. Another good job of coming back to the football.
So now Hurns goes wide right. Michael Gallup to the left. Blake Jarwin, the tight end, in motion. 2 tight ends set this time. First down from the 43. Play fake. Under pressure is Dak. Gets it to his tight end, Jeff Swain. He's past midfield to the 49.
Speaking of Witten, Swain told the story in training camp. I just asked him, you know, what did you learn from Witten? When did you figure this out? And he said very first game he had caught 2 bootlegs against San Diego. Went over to the sideline. He was gassed. Witten came up, tapped him on the shoulder, said, get in.
Get in.
And he's like, he said, no, get in. And he didn't know what he was, so he went in, but then he realized what he was talking about. You know, it doesn't matter how tired you are, you stop playing.
Ron Smith. Nice pick up to the 33.
We want all this imagination offensively, and you just go straight up the gut, right? No 4 wide, no nothing. Just let's turn around, hand it off to my big running back, and get a fullback leading up in there. Jameis Olawale does that.
Yes.
And a good pickup.
Looney did a tremendous job turning his back to the hole as well to create some of that separation, as opposed to trying to drive off when you're on the dive play.
16-yard pickup for Rod Smith. Tries the left side, gets out wide, has a nice first down pickup of about 6.
Good job by center Joe Looney there. Watch it. Watch our center guard, left guard. They both pull. We get a block from Connor Williams. You get a block from Joe Looney. Real nice job there. That's one thing about these linemen, Marcus. They may be big, but they're athletic. They can move.
That's the biggest transition from college football right there.
Zach
is
Martin,
that you
great
see
puller.
absolutely great puller, and when they get there with some thump, babe. It's different than just trying to get in the way.
Yeah.
They trying to punish you on the edge. That's why so often you see those corners trying to get down and cut them before they get that momentum going.
As you saw there, the Cowboys win the first quarter, 108 yards to just 10 for Cincinnati. They lead it 3-0 through 1. Today, the Salvation Army doing the most good. Start of the second quarter here at AT&T Stadium. Bill Jones, Babe Laufenberg, Marcus Spears, Lindsey Draper on the sideline. Cowboys on 2nd and 4 with a toss left to Rod Smith, who's been a workhorse through the first quarter of this game. It'll bring up a 3rd and short for Dallas.
Marcus, you were talking about those corners don't want to take on a big man. Tyron Smith pulls from his left tackle position this time, and it's like, okay, Darquez Denard is out there on the corner, and he just says, you know, okay, what do you, he asked him, he said, Tyron, what do you weigh? And Tyron said about 325.
Okay.
He said, what do you weigh? He said, I'm about 195. And he said, okay, well, maybe I'll just see if there's a squirrel in the ground here.
3rd and 1. And bustling his way forward is Rod Smith. Working the right side that time. His 11th carry. And a first down for Dallas.
Workman-like drive.
Rod Smith has 11 carries for 41 yards. So the Cowboys' first team offense in this game for its 3rd possession into the second quarter of this game. You know, the other night, Tom Brady and the Patriots' first team offense played the whole first half of their game.
Down 20, babe. What you doing?
Oh, we got a 1st and 10.
From the 22. And a shot to the end zone and over the head of his intended receiver, the tight end, Jeff Swain. Or rather, Blake Jarwin, 89, not 87.
Not a lot of separation there for Blake Jarwin. They got him split out again wide. As she comes from the tight end, runs a little wheel route from the right side there. They're throwing just a little bit again. It didn't look real inviting for Dak Prescott right there. See that defender right in his hip pocket. If you miss it, you want to miss it deep, and that's what Dak did.
Jarwin set up in the backfield, now moves to the tight end on the left side. Gallup out wide left, and the Cowboys will call a timeout here.
Hey, that's the second time this ball gone.
Play clock was winding down on him.
Cowboys lead the Bengals 3-0 early in the second. And Babe Laufenberg, how about Tyron Smith versus Darquez Denard?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how many teams can pull their 330-pound left tackle, but the Cowboys are one of them. Marcus, do you want to take him on at the open field?
I do not, Babe. I like playing in short space. And it's a handful then, but
I feel sorry.
Ahead is trouble.
I feel sorry for those corners because they say, okay, I know it's going to show up on film. So I got to look like I'm taking him on, but I want no part of this.
Slithering through is Rod Smith, trying the right side that time for about 7 yards.
I'm just going to go on record as I want no part of Tyron Smith in the open field, in close quarters, anything.
No part of him in a dark alley, a closed door room, or a closed door meeting.
There he is. I want to tell Dorrance Armstrong, who goes up against him, the rookie from Kansas, who's having a great camp, but we're going to see a little bit later.
It's going to be okay.
I want to be fatherly and just say, listen, it gets better. It's not always going to be this hard.
My first year, babe, here in Dallas, I had Larry Allen and Flossie Adams.
Oh.
And
we don't need to see that. Zach Martin.
Taking a knee.
But, yeah, Larry Allen was no picnic, was he?
Bill came and said, this is as hard as it's going to get.
Bill Parcells.
Yes.
You don't like seeing Zach Martin in that posture on the field right there.
Lost his running mate, Travis Frederick, early in the week. Just a shoulder stinger. Again, he's being held out precautionary.
And it looked like on this play, Zach Martin was pulling much like Tyron Smith on the previous play, going the other way, and looks like he may have taken something to the lower leg. Kadeem Edwards, number 78, replaces him.
Zach Martin, who, by the way, has not missed a start as a Dallas Cowboy, didn't miss a start in college. I don't know how far back you have to go to find out when the last time Zach Martin missed a start.
Just a tough player. They're breeding them now at Notre Dame as well.
No kidding.
Up front.
McGlinchey and Nelson coming out of this draft, 2 top 10 picks on the offensive line from Notre Dame.
3rd and short. There's Michael Gallup inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. Let's take a look at what happened with Zach Martin here.
Well, there's Zach Martin, number 70 there, the Cowboys right guard, pulling out, as you said, Marcus.
Getting out on the edge, and there it is. Looks like a little knee or ankle or something like that, but that is the technique in the NFL when these big guys get on the edge, and that's the risk that you run.
That's how you combat the 300+ pounder on the edge, I guess. From the 7-yard line, 1st and goal for Dallas, and hitting the backfield. The breaking free is Rod Smith. He's up to the 6. 1 yard.
Good second effort after the initial penetration.
Absolutely. And that's why you hear coaches all the time reiterate the backs. Keep your feet moving. You feel contact, continue to go. And down on the goal line, there is going to be penetration. I mean, you know that. That's a part of this part of the football field, but continuing to go straight ahead. We talked about that last week with Bo Scarborough. Danced a little bit, got stopped, hit the gap fast, end zone.
2nd and goal from the 6 as Rod Smith is 49 yards on 13 carries. Eluding the rush is Dak. And out of bounds just inside the 5-yard line. All right, Babe, so how big is it for the tight ends down in this area of the field, not having Jason Witten and whether it's a run play, pass play, whatever, you got Jeff Swaim and Blake Jarwin in there right now. How much do they miss Jason Witten in this situation?
Somewhere between a lot and a ton. It's funny, I know Scott Linehan over there that's calling plays. That's Doug Nussmeier, the tight ends coach, the new tight ends coach here, by the way, who thought he was coming to coach a future Hall of Famer. A couple weeks into it, Witten says, no, I think I'm going to go do some Monday Night Football.
3rd down. Trying to find somebody open, and there's somebody open. Terrence Williams.
I'm telling you, they've worked this a lot in training camp, more than in years past. I would say twice as much as I've ever seen them work these scramble drills. But obviously right there, Marcus, it paid off.
Absolutely, and Dak was patient. You take it all the way into the sideline. Unless you feel like you're under too much pressure, you got to get out of bounds or throw the ball out of bounds. Dak did a tremendous job waiting for his receivers to uncover. And that's something that you don't learn right away as a quarterback. That takes time to develop.
Terrence Williams working on the 3rd-year cornerback out of Houston, William Jackson III. And Dan Bailey with the point after. It is good. And with 10:47 to play in the 2nd quarter, the Cowboys take a 10-0 lead on the Bengals thanks to this. Dak to T. Will.
It's the people who go that make it.
In honor of Jason Witten, 82 yards on 16 plays. And T. Will, Terrence Williams with the catch.
Okay, that's Jeff Swaim here. That's in the slot right here is Alan Hearns. Dak's trying to work the middle of the field. Terrence Williams, if you see at the top of your screen, around here, he's not even in the play. He's just clearing it out, and all of a sudden he says, oh, Dak's scrambling. Now, one thing, William Jackson there, the defender, he can shove Terrence Williams out of bounds. There is no illegal contact once that quarterback breaks the pocket. So if he was making a heads-up play there, right there, you just take Terrence Williams, shove him out of bounds, and Terrence can't come back in and make the play. Can't be the first to touch.
And William Jackson was complaining that T. Will kind of shoved him almost out of bounds on the play. It works for the Cowboys, a 10-0 lead. Alex Erickson on the kickoff return out past the 20-yard line. And there's a flag.
It's just one way you want to stay alive. You know, stay alive, stay alive. That's what Terrence does. Kind of works his way back to Dak Prescott. As you said, William Jackson said, hey, he shoved me.
So on this kickoff return, Flag comes down late. John Hussey, our referee.
During the kick, personal foul, double team block, 2 members of the receiving team, 15, half the distance correction, first down.
John Hussey out of Mary Star of the Sea High School, who doesn't even know that they're about to get a thumping by Bishop Montgomery this year. My nephew plays for Bishop Montgomery. I told him on the field.
So what part of the country is that?
Oh, it's Los Angeles.
Okay.
San Pedro officially. San Pedro. He's a good guy, one of the best referees in the game too, John Hussey.
Football at Idaho State.
Yes, he did. Very good, Bill Jones.
There you go. I did my research. Look at the time of possession, 15:41 to 3:32. Cincinnati with 10 yards, 2 possessions. We get more than that here. C.J. Uzoma, big tight end out of Auburn, past the 30 to the 31-yard line. 23 yards.
They have enough tight ends on this roster. Cincinnati's got about 8 of them. Nice job there. That goes back to Andy Dalton. You know, again, you got to go to the Matthew Stafford school of finding arm angles. Right there, you know that guy's coming unblocked. Dalton knows it. You just got to figure out a way to sidearm it, sling it around him, get it over him, and he does.
And a little retreat to create that little space between him and DeMarcus Lawrence to get that ball around him.
So there's some breathing room here. DeMarcus Lawrence with a little bit of pressure. And there comes Jeff Heath very quickly to bring down Joe Mixon.
And the referee.
Okay, Marcus, I want to get back to Randy Gregory. He got his 10 snaps. He's coming back on the field right now for a little pass rush drill. What is the hardest thing? He's been out for basically 2 years. What's the hardest thing to come back to?
It's the technique, babe. I mean, the speed, the physicality, that'll come. That's football shape. That's banging a little bit. And also getting back in the weight room on a regiment that's built for you to create what you need to create in this game. But the little hand placement, staying put. You see a lot of guys rush when they've been away for a while. And football up front, believe it or not, is a very patient game. And you have to make sure that assignment, gap, responsibility is first and foremost.
There's Randy Gregory right there. He's hustling.
He's hustling. he looks a little gassed though.
Yeah. Well, and as you well know, the adrenaline gets pumping just before the game.
And it's
for
hot
him,
down there as well.
He exerted a lot of energy just getting his uniform on today. I mean that, you know, and all of a sudden he's getting his first game back and 32 games, and it's got to be a lot of fun for him.
You see him and Tyrone Crawford communicating about possible games.
Yep.
Third down. Dalton escapes, has the first down up to the 48-yard line.
The ruling on the field was the runner is down by contact. First down.
Babe, if we can go to this play, the reason why this communication happened between Gregory and Tyrone Crawford was Tyrone was expecting Randy Gregory to come underneath. These are the things that we were talking about, being out of the flow, that communication. And you can see Tyrone a little frustrated with him not coming up underneath because Crawford took a headline path up high for him to create that underneath path for him.
13-yard pickup. Collared is Joe Mixon.
Yeah, we always hear the TE stunt, ET stunt. What does that mean?
So TE means tackle first, and that's Tyrone Crawford in the 3 technique, getting high.
Going to go hit their offensive
end, taking
tackle.
a couple 3 steps, attract the attention and go underneath. And then the ET is when the defensive end goes up 3 steps, comes underneath, and the tackle wraps around. It all has to be tight, and that communication, it's almost like a basketball team. You have to be in sync as a point guard with your guy. That's why Tyrone was a little frustrated about him not coming underneath.
Randy Gregory saying, look, it's all I can do. Just get back on the field. Okay, we'll worry about all that stuff later.
2nd and 11. That's A.J. Green. Just short of the first down. A couple of yards short.
A.J. Green came out of that draft in 2011. He was the 4th player taken in the draft, obviously by Cincinnati. The 6th player taken in the draft was Julio Jones. If you remember, Atlanta gave up
the whole draft
a ton to go up and get him. Again, I don't think that Cincinnati is going to sit there and say, yeah, we don't like A.J. Green. But Julio Jones, in my mind, unless it's Antonio Brown, probably the best receiver in football.
Play is being stopped for a medical timeout.
A.J. Green with 7 Pro Bowls in his career, 556 receptions and 57 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not too bad, huh?
Not bad at all for Marvin.
It always goes back to me, the Barry and Emmett conversation, where they say, well, who would you take? And I say, well, I'll tell you what, you take who you want, and I can win with the other guy. That's a little bit like Julio and A.J. Green. It's like, well, I'll tell you what, Marcus, you take who you want. I'll take the other guy.
And A.J., I mean, coming from Georgia, he was in the conversation with everybody. Had major battles with Patrick Peterson, just like Julio Jones did in college. Both of those guys are exceptional athletes. I think for A.J. Green, though, it's about the guys around him. Cincinnati kind of has been run-oriented, and they need to open this thing up and get him the ball down the field.
Here's the last play here with A.J. on the slant.
Yeah, Byron took a shot there.
From Xavier Woods.
He was trying to figure out if his shoulder was still there or not.
Some friendly fire there from Xavier Woods. 3rd and 2.
Jalen Smith down.
Yeah. Got a false start. It's going to come back. 3rd and 2 is going to be 3rd and 7. And Marcus, after John Hussey makes his call.
Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You mentioned Patrick Peterson. He came out of that draft. That draft in 2011 could have 5, 6, 7 Hall of Famers right at the top. J.J. Watt out of that draft.
Yep.
Not putting Cam Newton in the Hall of Fame just yet, but he was at the top of it.
He was at the top of it.
A.J. Green, Julio, Tyron Smith.
Yeah, it was
he keeps going to Pro Bowls like he's doing.
Did you say J.J.? You said J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt at number 11.
Andy Dalton was in the 3rd round.
Wow.
I mean, the 2nd round. 3rd pick of the 2nd round. Going for A.J. Green and off the fingertips of Xavier Woods.
That was great pressure up front by this defensive line. And look, here's the deal in the NFL, and what everybody has to remember. See this pocket? The inability for Andy Dalton to step up and make a throw under control. That is why this ball was overthrown the wrong way. Defensive pressure in his face. He had the short arm at Babe, didn't want to hit a shoulder pad or a helmet and possibly hurt his hand, and that's why you see this pass offline from Andy Dalton and A.J. Green not having a shot to pick it up.
And that's the big problem that the Bengals have had the last couple of seasons, especially last year. Their offensive line, they of course had lost Andrew Whitworth, who had a terrific season for the Rams last year. They had lost Kevin Zeitler, and they tried to do something this offseason to shore that up, trading for Cordy Glenn. The left tackle is Xavier Woods.
The Cowboys have a different problem on their hands right now.
And their 1st-round draft pick, Billy Price, out of Ohio State. Yeah, but so you've lost Byron Jones in the play previously, and Xavier Woods now hobbling across the field back to the Cowboys sideline. Less than 6 minutes to play in the 2nd quarter. In the preseason home opener, as Cooper Rush has his helmet on, gets set to head into the game. As the Bengals forced to punt here, Kevin Huber with the punt. Lance Lenore calls for the fair catch at his own 6-yard line. And it will not be good field position for Cooper Rush and the Cowboys offense. Time to recognize tonight's Bank of America offensive featured player of the game. And how about we go with number 4, Dak Prescott.
Dak did a nice job. 10 of 15 tonight, 86 yards and a touchdown. There you see Rod Smith on a little dump. And Dak had to move around a little bit more than he probably would have liked to have. But right here, he said, I'll move around just fine. Finds Terrence Williams for the touchdown.
Yeah, babe, I've been impressed with how he's taking these underneath routes and just staying patient, letting things develop, trusting his receivers. He's done a tremendous job.
Is this his bootleg? Is this a patented Scott Linehan bootleg for the quarterback?
Oh, yeah, to start things off.
A little bit deep in their territory. So,
off to Bo Scarborough, and it's a loss of yardage.
See, he should have run the bootleg.
That's right. Yeah.
They were ready for the run.
Andrew Billings out of Baylor University with the tackle for loss.
Cooper Rush getting his chance again, and there are some people not totally sold that the Cowboys are solid in that backup quarterback position. Mike White will probably see him, their 5th-round pick, a little bit later. Cooper Rush, a free agent, of course, last year.
Babe, it's so important. I mean, we saw had 4 not been on this roster when Romo went down. What would this season have been? So now you look at this backup quarterback position, which is a valuable thing in the NFL. One of these guys are going to have to assert themselves.
Not much there for Bo Scarborough, and it'll be 3rd and long for Cooper Rush here.
And not exactly the way you want to get your series started off. 2 handoffs. Now you're in the 3rd and 12, and the Cincinnati Bengals will be pinning their ears back here for the pass rush. You just hope your guys up front can hang on for it. He still has Connor Williams out there, but other than that, all of the rest of the offensive line. Well, Joe Looney, he was the starting center for this game. Obviously not the Cowboys starting center. That would be Travis Frederick, but again, he did not play due to neck stingers.
Cam Fleming and Chaz Green are the tackles. Connor Williams and Kadeem Edwards the guards, flanking Joe Looney the center. On 3rd and 12, up high and off the hands of the defender. It'll be punt time for the Cowboys.
That one had trouble written all over it.
Had Darquez Denard's hands all over it too. He couldn't come down with it.
Those hands are still mangled from trying to take on Tyron Smith on that sweep. Whole body's numb. Right here, I thought he was just going to throw it into the stands. Not sure. So got away from him here at the end, that he was trying to hit him at the end of that? Not sure, which is always a bad sign when you're not sure where the ball was supposed to go.
Chris Jones with a short punt. Alex Erickson from the 44-yard line. And on a return of 9, there are a couple of flags down. Under 4 minutes to play here in the first half. And the Bengals will have Jeff Driscoll coming on to play quarterback, so Andy Dalton's night is over.
Well, last year,
during the return, illegal block in the back, number 32 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
32, Mark Walton, the rookie running back. So that'll back the Bengals up to the Dallas 49-yard line, where they will take over. Jalen Smith remains in the game at middle linebacker for the Cowboys, number 54. Jeff Driscoll, quarterback for Cincinnati, had a nice week a week ago. Ball is loose. It's still loose, and the Cowboys come up with it at midfield. Byron Jones wound up with it.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a fumble, recovered by the defense. First down.
It was Kayvon Frazier that had the first crack at it here. Here you see Kayvon coming in trying to scoop it, almost gets his knee taken out right there. You know, they talk, Cowboys, Rod Marinelli talks about city and country. If it's city, tight quarters, you fall on it. Country, open space, you try to pick it up and run with it. Right there, I'm not so sure that wasn't a tweener, that Kayvon Frazier might have been best to just fall on that football.
It works out all right for the Cowboys.
They got it back,
because Byron Jones had it, but it was Tyler Boyd with the fumble.
That's Chris Richard over there on the left side of your screen talking to Kayvon Frazier, the Cowboys defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach. Well, as soon as you get that ball and you start going across the field as a little guy, good chance that big people are coming to knock it loose, and that's exactly what happened.
Into a freight train.
Yeah. You want to put your foot in the ground and just head upfield right there as a receiver.
Cooper Rush likes this field position just a bit better than moments ago.
There's the bootleg.
There you go. That's why you start at the 50, you can run that bootleg, and he finds Dalton Schultz.
Linehan, one too late there.
There's another look at Tyler Boyd as Taco Charlton, 97, came across.
The pursuit is phenomenal, and I know that's a Rod Marinelli staple, but these guys make a lot of plays like that. Even last year, creating turnovers, and this defense is predicated on it.
2nd and 7 from the 47. Deep handoff to Bo Scarborough, and he's stopped for a loss of 2. Let's go down to the sideline. An injury report from Lindsay.
Yes, guys, Zach Martin went to the locker room with a left knee injury. He will not return. Worth noting, though, that the starters were done at the time. Also, safety Xavier Woods left with a hamstring injury. He will not return.
2 injuries of real concern for the Cowboys. Of course, what Zach Martin means a 4-time All-Pro right guard for the Cowboys, and also the safety Xavier Woods. The Cowboys are not deep at all at the safety position. 3rd and 9. Short over the middle to the tight end.
When you say this, Bill, there are some fans who know how they can get deeper.
Yes,
at that safety position.
Right. There have been no conversations with the Seattle Seahawks since the draft, though, as of a couple of weeks ago. We haven't got a report recently from Stephen Jones. As we approach the 2-minute warning here in the first half, Cooper Rush and the Cowboys offense facing a 4th down from the 44-yard line. 10-0. The Cowboys lead the Bengals. The first half here in Arlington. Welcome back to AT&T Stadium, giving you some looks around the structure, the award-winning artistry around AT&T Stadium. It is beautiful. Bill Jones, Babe Loffenberg, and Marcus Spears. How about Connor Williams, Babe?
Yeah, we go back. Here's Connor Williams on the sideline here, talking things over with his left tackle Cameron Fleming. Show you what happened. There's Williams right there.
Here's the communication. He actually did a great job trying to bump him out to Cam Fleming, but you have to get back because the game is coming.
Punt hits down around the 10-yard line and winds up inside the 5, but it'll be marked down around the 12-yard line. Is where Cincinnati will take over on offense.
Cincinnati has not been dealing with the best of field positions in this game. 32-yard punt there.
Their drives have started at their own 4, their own 25, their own 7-yard line.
Field position so important. Doesn't matter preseason game or regular season.
They had terrific field position the last time, and they coughed it up on the first play, though, at midfield.
Woods, Gregory, Taco Charlton in the game same time.
1:46 to play. Jeff Driscoll has time. Ball is up in the air. The Cowboys can't come down with it. Joe Thomas had a pick last week against San Francisco, but not this time.
Yeah, Cowboys had a bunch of balls last week. I don't know if I ever saw so many balls get tipped up into the air as they did against San Francisco last week. And here comes another one. And what happens too is once that ball is tipped, it's only defenders with their eyes on it. Receivers aren't ready for it, but obviously the defenders in zone are all closing on the football, so they see that ball go in the air.
Taco Charlton and Randy Gregory, the defensive ends in there. Run up the middle, and in for the stop is Tyree Robinson, who gets an opportunity at safety with Xavier Woods out. Kayvon Frazier playing safety as well here.
There's a little form tackle there by Tyree Robinson with little help. Tyree Robinson, by the way, went to Lincoln High School in San Diego, home of 2 Heisman Trophy winners, Marcus Allen and Terrell Davis.
Wow.
So it's bad when you're in the NFL and you can't even say I'm the best player to come. You know, most guys go to high school and say, we had this one guy, this Tyree Robinson. And I guess, well, we also had Marcus Allen and Terrell Davis.
No big
deal. They've got gold jackets.
Tyree Robinson, the rookie out of Oregon.
I'm not a Hall of Famer, and I don't think I'll become one, but I'd love to just walk through my old high school in my gold Hall of Fame jacket. That's what I do. If I'm a Hall of Famer, I go back to my high school.
That still resonates, babe.
Yeah, hey kids, how you doing? Take a look at my gold jacket.
Instead, it's your letter jacket that you returned.
False start here from the right tackle.
Five-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Cedric Ogbuehi out of Allen High School in Texas A&M, a former first-round draft pick who was at left tackle last year, and they moved him over to the right side this year, and he is in a backup role.
Backed up in this situation, babe, and Bill, you want to either just hit him with a draw or a screen. And usually when the back is away from the 3 receiver side, you possibly get screen out the other end.
3rd and 13.
And they went for it.
C.J. Uzoma, that tight end, as his second catch of the night to the 15-yard line. The Cowboys are going to get the football back with a lot of time left here in the first half. It'll be a real opportunity for Cooper Rush.
And final charge timeout.
Dallas uses its final timeout.
All right, Randy Gregory, you tell me the move he's putting on here. Tries a little spin move, Marcus. Why does it not work?
Well, a lot of it is about the setup, and he didn't get the tackle to turn his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage. The difficult part about a speed spin move is that you have to have speed coming off the edge. At that time, Gregory might have been a little bit slow to try to set that move up. But it's actually getting into the guy. DeMarcus Ware used to do a great job of getting that hand on him first, making him overcommit, and then spinning back to the inside.
The whole idea is to make him think you're trying to get around him outside, make him overstep, and then come back.
Absolutely.
That's a big man to try to get around, though. Cordy Glenn. Lance Lenore deep, the punt lands short of him, and Cowboys will take over at their own 33-yard line as Cooper Rush will have an opportunity. And Marcus, you alluded to it earlier. It's so important, the backup quarterback position in this league. We saw it a couple of years ago when Dak Prescott, as a 4th-round draft pick, got the opportunity. And it's going to be interesting as this plays out the rest of this preseason in this game. What happens with the Cowboys backup quarterback?
Well, sometimes you have two mindsets. Is it a guy that can get me to where I need to be until my starter comes back? Or you have the catastrophic ones. Can I win with this guy if I lose my quarterback for an entire season? You try to identify that.
And losing the football is Cooper Rush. There's a scramble for it at the 30-yard line.
Connor Williams got on that thing at the end of it. I was just going to say, that's a great opportunity to work your 2-minute drill, minute 13 seconds.
Chaz Green was beat severely bad.
Yeah, the Buckeyes. Sam Hubbard, number 94.
Additionally, we have a timeout. Cincinnati.
Sam Hubbard, who was a safety starting his career at Ohio State and grew into an edge rusher. Had a lot of sacks his last year there, and he was a 3rd-round pick of the Bengals. Showed why right there. There's a loss of 5.
For Chaz Green, I mean, he needs to get his confidence back from that Atlanta game. And that one there won't help you much.
Chaz Green at right tackle. Cam Fleming, a free agent pickup from the Patriots, who started games at right tackle for the Patriot. In fact, in the Super Bowl last year, playing left tackle right now. Passes over the head of everybody. Looking for Gallup.
Clearly a miscommunication between Cooper Rush and Gallup. But I'm not so sure why there would be. It's a hook route that typically will not adjust in terms of against a different coverage. You run a different route, unlike an out route that turns into a fade if you're pressed. And that was pretty odd right there. All right, now that Cooper Rush doesn't want to make the big mistake here. They're going to play off. They're going to play zone. Just dump it underneath and hope the guy can win for you.
In trouble and drop. A 2nd sack. That's Carl Lawson, one of your SEC guys from Auburn, Marcus.
Auburn University, still coming off the edge, guys. Cam Fleming gets beat up high. This is one of those situations where, babe, you get the shoulders parallel to the sideline, and he's able to come underneath. Carl Lawson made a living doing this, working with leverage. He's not a long guy, not a big guy. Similar to Dwight Freeney, where the leverage is the problem. And obviously, Freeney is a Hall of Famer, but.
And Marcus, you're talking about concern at backup quarterback.
Tackle.
Cowboys.
I'm right with you.
They still have some concerns at backup tackle.
Well, they gave up a sack on the right side, then gave up a sack on the left side. Cameron Fleming is a veteran too. Obviously started in the Super Bowl for New England last year, so they're counting on him.
Alex Erickson from the 30-yard line. Weaving his way upfield, a nice return, and there's real good field position for the Bengals up near midfield. But still some time left here in the first half.
39 seconds and a timeout for Cincinnati still. Good chance for the Cowboys to practice their 2-minute defense as well. And Taco Charlton coming back out. And this is where you want your pass rushers to show up, is it not, Marcus?
Absolutely. We talked about it last week. That drive at the end of the game for San Francisco is a sack demolishes these 2-minute drills, because you get behind the chains, you can't stay on schedule, you can't run your offense the way you want to run it. So a sack would be huge at this point.
Dorrance Armstrong, the right defensive end, 4th-round pick out of Kansas. Cheeto Awuzie.
Wow.
Cheeto skies for that one.
That'll be a meme.
I watched a lot of Colorado football, and Cheeto might have been able to have about 15 interceptions his last year if he hung on to the ball. I never saw anything like this. Maybe that's the key, Marcus. Maybe he just needs to go one hand on.
One hand.
You know what the difference is? He's wearing number 24. He's wearing Everson Walls number 24. So he comes down with the interception.
And Everson Walls caught everything.
He did.
I mean, he caught everything. If it was around him, he caught it. It's a funny thing. You look at interceptions at the end of the year and you say, you know, this team or that team, but so many times guys just don't hang on to the football. Right. What a play there by Awuzie. And so, now what do you want to do? You want to go march it, Bill?
Yeah, 31 seconds left. We got to see what this young guy can do.
Right.
Let's see what these tackles can do too. Olawale, the mean green of North Texas, represented. Of course, the Cowboys have no timeouts left, so clock runs here. And Dalton Schultz staying in bounds. It's a first down, but in college, that stops the clock.
Now, he didn't get accepted to Stanford doing those things, okay?
82 would have got out of bounds.
He's got to know. Catch it and get out of bounds.
Situational football, man, and that's a part of being a young guy, right? A young guy trying to make a play.
Yep. There was a reason he was running an out route.
Yeah.
Exactly. Catch it, step out of bounds, it will reconvene. Doug Nussmeier.
He's hearing about it.
Yeah, that's the tight ends coach, Doug Nussmeier there saying.
For sure.
Yep.
Oh, look, everybody's coaching now.
Yep.
Everybody wants to coach.
Yep.
What's he telling Dak Prescott here? Dak's saying, Coach, I wasn't in.
What we need is for Lindsey Draper to get our microphone in there so we can eavesdrop on this conversation as we await the arrival of Jason Garrett for his interview with Lindsey.
Funny.
As Cowboys go off the field leading at halftime here. They had a 16-play drive for one score, and Cincinnati ran a total of 18 offensive plays in the entire half. Let's go down to the sideline and Lindsey.
Coach, obviously never good news when you have some injuries, but there were some good things tonight. You got to see Randy Gregory and Sean Lee. What did you like?
I thought it was good. You know, the defense had played about 6 plays all the way through the middle of the second quarter, so they were doing a good job getting off the field. The offense did a good job driving the football. The long drive, I think we had it for over 8 minutes, and we cashed in on it. So liked how we moved it, liked how the defense got off the field, and certainly liked the takeaways.
Dak Prescott obviously leading that drive. In preseason, you probably want him in the pocket, but he's best when he's out of it. What did you like about the way he ran things tonight?
I just like that he's playing. He looks so natural out there. He's confident. He's comfortable. When he's in the pocket and he likes it, he lets it rip. If not, he moves and he makes a play. He's got great poise. He's got a great feel for the game. I thought he had a good night.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, good to see you.
And the Jason Garrett interview brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams, the official paint supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys lead the Bengals 10-0. It's halftime at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Failure. We are back here at AT&T Stadium. A completion from Jeff Driscoll to John Ross puts the Bengals in position at the Dallas 41-yard line. Babe Laufenberg, when I was talking about Bluefield explosions and the artwork, I didn't mean it literally, but apparently we had a little power outage right there. At the 42-yard line, Bengals have 2nd and 11. Cowboys kick to the Bengals to start this third quarter, and the long completion put the Bengals in position at the Dallas 41-yard line. A 29-yard pass play to John Ross. The completion to the right side will bring up 3rd down and 11 for Jeff Driscoll and the Bengals.
Yeah, that previous play, a couple of plays ago here when we had our power outage, Jalen Smith may be 100% of the way back, but he's still not fast enough to run with John Ross.
And nobody is.
No, they had to get him all the way across the field.
That's exactly why the power went out.
Yeah.
John Ross caught the ball.
John Ross of the 4.22.40.
Oh my goodness.
4.22.40 at the combine, which broke Chris Johnson's record. Some pressure on the quarterback that time. Pass goes incomplete, and 4th down for the Bengals, who have sputtered on offense. And a late flag.
Yeah.
Jihad Ward was getting into it there at the end of this play, and let's see who they want to flag.
He was fine battling with the offensive tackle, but when you put your hands on the referee,
oh, I did not see that.
That will definitely draw a flag.
Well, that'll get you ejected if he put his hands on the official.
He sure did.
Jihad Ward, the 2nd-round draft pick for the Raiders last year, and came over in a trade this offseason.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 51. That 15-yard penalty results in an automatic 1st down.
Would have been 4th down punt time for the Bengals. Instead, it's a 1st down.
Bengals have some more downs to play with now. That is not going to make the head coach happy. By the way, Cowboys did not get penalized in the 1st half. They had 0 penalties in the 1st half, but they picked up a costly one there. This, by the way, after 13 penalties in San Francisco last week, so they cleaned that aspect up in the 1st half, but not a good play, not a smart play there by Jihad Ward.
So 1st down at the Dallas 27-yard line. And that's their 4th-round draft pick, who is nailed by Damian Wilson. That's Mark Walton, the rookie out of Miami, a loss of a yard.
Mentioned it last week, but I don't know how they're going to keep Damian Wilson out of this lineup. Really good nickel player, cover guy, and he's been playing some exceptional football.
Babe, there are some linebackers on this roster now that can play, and they can play multiple spots and give you a lot of flexibility in what you try to do defensively.
And Joe Thomas, number 48, in there right now, alongside Damian Wilson at linebacker. 2nd and 11, and down goes Driscoll, and there is a flag, and that's Taco Charlton, the 2nd-year man out of Michigan.
Well, they're going to get a hold here, and it doesn't matter because Taco got the sack anyway. That's pretty hard to do.
Offense, number 70. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
That was 1st-round draft pick against 1st-round draft pick. Taco Charlton gets the best of Cedric Ogbuehi out of Texas A&M, who is the 1st pick for the Bengals back in the 2015 draft.
I know it's preseason game number 2. I know this is Taco's 2nd year, but I'll tell you this, man. The last 2 weeks, he's been making a lot of plays. Had the forced fumble and tracking the ball down on the wide receiver. And I think he had a sack last week as well against San Francisco. He's doing a really good job of making plays.
You know, these two teams also, they sort of made a trade in the offseason themselves. Their offensive line coaches, as Paul Alexander moved from Cincinnati to Dallas after 24 years as the offensive line coach with Cincinnati, and Frank Pollock went from Dallas to Cincinnati. So Frank Pollock is now getting a taste of what Paul Alexander had last year with the Bengals offensive line.
Paul Alexander said, wow, this is all for me. Wait a minute, I get Tyron Smith, and I get Zach Martin, and I get Travis Frederick. And you're telling me you just drafted a kid in the 2nd round to go play left guard for me?
And you got Lyle Collins, who many projected to be a 1st-round pick when he came out of LSU. 3rd and long for Jeff Driscoll. Ball batted away.
Another one of those batted balls. Again, the Cowboys have done a fantastic job in these first 2 games of just, if you're not going to get there, get your hands up. See if that football will hit it, and it does. That's the other thing, too. It's interesting to me, guys, about, they talk about the taller quarterback and throwing over people. Jeff Driscoll's 6'4". I don't care how tall you are. You can be 6'6", 6'8". If a man 6'6" puts his hand up in the air, you're not going to throw it over him.
Absolutely.
It's going to get hit. It's going to get knocked down. You really,
especially when they're trying to hit the check down. We used to know as defensive linemen, if this quarterback gets into this play long enough, he's eventually going to look for his backs turning over the line of scrimmage. Get your hands up if you hadn't got there.
And that's what Coney Ely, who is 6'4", also did on that play. Cowboys have to use a timeout here.
This is the toughest aspect of the preseason for coaches, and especially for the special teams coach, who is Keith O'Quinn now. getting guys in and out. You got 90 guys on the sideline. Guys are getting hurt. There's Keith O'Quinn, and he's like, and so in a regular game, you know, if Marcus Spears goes down, I'm right behind him. Right. In this, you may run 3 different teams out there on special teams. You know, there might be first, second, and the third team all playing tonight at the one position. So a guy gets injured, you don't know he's hurt.
And it's tough. It's tough too, baby, because you're trying to get everybody a look as well. So a lot of guys probably jumping in there without it.
A 55-yard field goal attempt from Jonathan Brown is good. And the Bengals are on the board. The big leg of John Brown, first-year player out of Louisville. Frisco, it's free of charge. Fans can come out to see the Cowboys in training camp on Monday and Tuesday, 5:30 start times. And then on Thursday and Friday, there are morning workouts at 11 a.m. And then finally a 5th practice on a week from Tuesday at 11 a.m. Cowboys play Sunday night next week against the Arizona Cardinals here at AT&T Stadium. 55-yard field goal by that man, Jonathan Brown. What a story he is, an elite soccer player trying to make it in the NFL as a place kicker. And Duke Thomas, the Texas Longhorn, with a nice return past the 40 out to the 43-yard line. That's the best return by a Cowboys return man in this preseason. Let's go down to Lindsay on the sideline.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, you just missed Rod jumping up and down. Is that one of the best parts of preseason, is just cheering on everyone to make the team?
Yeah, man, you know, just we've been in camp with these guys, so we done built a strong relationship with you know what I'm saying, the offense and defensive guys. So you know what I'm saying, you want the best for everybody.
Okay, Rod, obviously good to be back in Dallas, but talk to me about what this training camp has been like for you. A lot has changed on this roster.
I mean, for me personally, it's a little different. I usually coming in, you know, fighting, show my worth, but mainly just contributing a lot on special teams. But they got me this year a lot in the offense. Just to piggyback off of last year, you know, the way I came in and handled things, I felt like I built trust with the players and the staff. So I feel like it's a lot of confidence there.
I feel like we, as you know, fans and onlookers might see it too. You did great out there tonight in the first half. Got a lot of work. How'd it feel?
I mean, I feel good, man. You know, especially to be back in Dallas. You know, we've been gone for so long, grinding out there in Oxnard. But it ain't nothing like playing in Dallas. The fans is always hype and live. They give us energy. And yeah, you know, I was just out there, you know, coming out there to start the game off. I just wanted to bring that momentum, you know.
All right, last thing I want to ask you. Talk to me from your eyes, how your brother has been from last year to now.
Yeah, it's been amazing, you know, to see him, to go out there and play last year, you know, still battling injuries. But if you've been to camp and watched camp, and if you see out there now, he's moving like nothing ever had happened, and that's a plus, you know what I'm saying, for our defense. And I'm just proud of him, the way he's just been able to overcome and just attacking everything thrown his way. But it's going to be a good season for him.
That is Jalen Smith we are talking about. Rod, thanks for your time and good luck this season.
Oh, yeah, appreciate you.
And the pass complete from Cooper Rush to Dalton Schultz, a flag in the backfield. Of course, Rod Smith played his college football at Ohio
Holding.
State.
Offense, number 79, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That would be Chaz Green with the holding call.
Chaz Green had the hold last week against San Francisco. Gave up a sack tonight, earlier. Now we've got a hold there. There he's at right tackle. See if he got his money's worth. Marcus, what do you think?
Nah, you don't get your money's worth unless you fall on the guy. If you're going to get the penalty, get the whole penalty.
Good.
And that's Jordan Willis, third-round draft pick last year out of Kansas State. He was a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year his last year. Had 11.5 sacks for the Wildcats his last year there. And Darius Jackson gets an opportunity, number 44, trying to get some of that yardage back.
Bill, we were talking about the QBs earlier, and are the Cowboys really ready to go through this with Cooper Rush and Mike White possibly as their 2 backups? And obviously they did it last year, but to me, just kind of playing with fire with an untested guy. That's not to say that Cooper Rush won't go on to be Tony Romo, right? But at this point, if Dak Prescott goes down, there's Mike White on the sideline, the 5th-round pick, who we should see a little bit later tonight. You really ready to go play a half a season or a season with them?
And Cooper Rush is hit, throws incomplete. My question would be, okay, what would make this season different than last season?
No, I know they did it last year.
To go
Sure.
with a rookie, Cooper Rush, who had a very nice preseason last year.
Well, you had Kellen Moore in your back pocket.
You did have
my
Kellen
guy.
Moore. So yeah.
No.
Now he's up top. He's the quarterback's coach.
Yeah. Well, you bring him down.
There you.
You suit him up. Actually, that can't happen. There's Cole Beasley in the middle there.
He played high school.
Played high school? Yep, there you go. Probably throw it. Tell you what, though, Cooper Rush has been in some unenviable third downs, and this is another one, third and 17.
Well, that's the other part of it, is how can you judge him, get a good gauge behind an offensive line that hasn't been able to keep him upright. As the pass goes to Darius Jackson.
The funny thing about that quarterback position, though, guys, is, you sit there and they'll chart everything in camp. Every throw, every drill, every minute of every day. They chart what the guys eat for breakfast, I think, Marcus. And then you know how they decide who they're going to go with? A gut feeling.
Gut feeling.
Somebody is sitting there saying, wait a minute, I have charted 1,462 throws, and you guys haven't paid it to me. I'm going to go with my gut.
Well, that's the way Landry used to do it. It seemed to work for him. He used to go with his gut instinct. With all the quarterback controversies of the past with the Cowboys, Darius Phillips calls for the fair catch.
Went with Phil Pozderac, as you know.
That's exactly right. It was Hogan Bloom.
Just had a gut feeling.
Pozderac's going to start this week. I mean, Hogan Bloom. A team in the NFL. Of course, Bill Belichick tops the list. 19th season. Marvin Lewis now in his 16th season. And Jason Garrett in the top 8 as he is entering his 8th full season. Of course, he already has 8.5 seasons under his belt.
Now, the downside to this is Cincinnati has gone the longest of any team in the NFL without winning a playoff game, 27 seasons since they last won a playoff game.
And Marvin Lewis 0-7 in postseason games.
Offense. Number 62.
In that division with the Ravens and the Steelers. When you get out of that division and get an opportunity to get into the playoffs, you're hoping that you can win one. It's a tough division. I always was a big fan, obviously, of the NFC East when I was playing here in Dallas, but got up there to the AFC and saw that they play some big boy football too as well, man.
The Ravens.
Yeah.
The other thing about Marvin Lewis is he gets his team there. In 15 years, they've been to the playoffs 7 times. You're going every other year. They just
that has been the conversation that has surrounded Andy Dalton for a while. Is whether he could.
Well, another guy that made the playoffs his first 5 years didn't get to play. It's Cowboys have an injured player down here. Try to figure out who that is.
And as they tend to the injured. Dayton Jones was the injured player for the Cowboys, defensive tackle number 56. Let's take a look at what happened.
Looks like he gets whipped here. Mason Schreck, you see number 86, the tight end fighting down the line, inadvertently gets a little leg whip there, and I think that's where the injury occurred.
Dayton Jones, who was working with the first team early in camp, is in there in the second half of this game. Second and long for Jeff Driscoll, and over the middle, incomplete off the hands of Auden Tate, the rookie out of Florida State, with Anthony Brown defending.
Tough catch there, but it's one you'd like to see him make. Driscoll just a little bit high and a little bit out in front with that ball. If he puts it on more on the numbers, probably have themselves a completion.
So 3rd and 8 for the Bengals here. Trey Carson, number 33, and they're at running back for Cincinnati now, out of Texas A&M. Driscoll with time, but there's nobody there. Jason Garrett was there. There's a flag down.
Yep, it's going against Cowboys. It's either a hold or pass interference, just depending on when the ball was released.
Holding. Defense, number 30. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's Anthony Brown.
Picked up a couple penalties last week. Got himself one today. Usually, Marcus, those are technique things, are they not?
Absolutely. It's a panic element, and especially in the secondary. Most of the time those guys draw penalties because they panic. and lose technique because they think they need to do something extra. Sometimes you just beat, babe.
So
make a tackle.
Automatic first down. Trey Carson trying to get outside. Native Texan, Liberty Ilo High School in Texarkana.
I knew you would know that, Bill. Let me ask you this. Is there any high school player that you don't know about in the state of Texas?
Is there any NFL player who is from a Texas high school? I'm sure you can find one.
That you wouldn't know?
Yeah, I might. That's why we've got the internet.
Well, we all have the internet at our disposal, but
I'm just moved to look it up.
Yes.
I see a guy's from Texas A&M. I'm going to go look up what high school he went to. Jeff Driscoll. Outside, Alex Erickson, who's out of Darlington, Wisconsin high school.
There we go.
So, ventured outside the state of Texas.
And if I was to say Cam Kelly of the Cowboys, gosh, where did he go to high school?
That would be Wiley.
There we go. Nice, nice.
Alex Erickson was a terrific high school quarterback. In fact, in high school at Darlington, Wisconsin, 57 touchdown passes and 37 touchdown runs. Plus, he played defense and had 14 picks, too. So there you go.
Who was he playing against, Bill?
I wonder if he was in the same district as Burlington is Romo's.
Burlington is Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Charge timeout, Cincinnati. This will be a 30-second timeout.
There's Cam Kelly.
He looks a little Cole Beasley-ish, doesn't he? He's in the return game.
Yep.
Kind of get him a quick out there, make a guy miss. Impressive.
Yep, Alex Erickson. He's 6'1", 195.
See the Bengals here. We go back to Marvin Lewis. Bill, the Cowboys made changes, and a lot of them on their coaching staff, but all of them came at the assistant coach level. Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach, left for Oakland. They promoted from within. Keith O'Quinn became the head special teams coach. Marvin Lewis, however, changed out coordinators. Changed out one of them, though, during the season last year. Ken Zampese lasted just 2 games last season when Bill Lazor took over. They basically, from last year to this, they've got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator.
There's Trey Carson. And by the way, they also have a new quarterbacks coach, Alex Van Pelt, who was Aaron Rodgers' quarterbacks coach. And more on him in just a moment. Let's go down to the sideline in Lindsay.
Yes, Bill and guys, injury news for you. Bo Scarborough went to the locker room with a left hip injury. He's being evaluated and his return is questionable. Defensive tackle Dayton Jones has a left knee injury and he is out.
Okay. So left knee for Dayton Jones, left hip for Bo Scarborough, the 7th round draft pick rookie out of Alabama. And there's a wide open target. Sethan Carter out of Nebraska.
We're going to have to quit throwing it down to Lindsay, Bill, because every time we bring in Lindsay, it's bad news.
Bearer of bad news on the sideline.
She's like going to the dentist. Once again, we talked about it before. You just got to navigate. There's going to be a free guy out there. You got to figure out a way to navigate and get him around him, and Driscoll does just that.
Mentioned Alex Van Pelt, the quarterbacks coach.
Yes.
He played college football at Pitt, a long time in the NFL, and was Aaron Rodgers' quarterbacks coach.
Aaron Rodgers not real happy to lose him.
That's exactly right. And he went to Churchill High School in San Antonio. I watched him play high school football. He was a real good quarterback for Jerry Comalander at San Antonio Churchill High School.
Oh, now we're going into the coaches.
There you go.
This is impressive, man.
Who was the trainer, and can you name 4 of the 6 cheerleaders?
I can't do that.
Love Bill. Now, he doesn't know that A.J. Green plays for the Bengals, but if you go back to high school and...
You mean A.J. Green out of Summerville, South Carolina? From the 42, 2nd and 10.
Nice throw.
It was, and a nice catch, too, and it's close to a first down. Mason Schreck.
You know, he just had to hate it when that movie came out, don't you? It's like, really?
Really?
Really? We're going to do this now for the next 10 years? Little kids coming up to me. Please. I remember for the longest time, I was Babe. Oh, like Babe Ruth, yes. And then it became Babe. Oh, like Babe the Pig? No, not like Babe the Pig. Gotta watch those little kitty videos.
Alex Erickson has the first down with a little stiff arm of Anthony Brown. The flag down.
Well, a first half that saw very few penalties by a crew that doesn't call a lot of penalties typically. Got a bunch of them in the second
Pass
half.
interference. Offense, number 17. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 3rd down.
Did they get him on the so-called rub?
Kermit Whitfield.
They've been blocking before that
blocking
ball.
before it got, yeah.
Well, 3rd and 1 became 3rd and 11. All right, here's where you want to see your pass rush. You got Taco Charlton at one end. You got Dorrance Armstrong on the other. These guys that should be playing for you. Oh,
Charles Tapper's in there now.
I apologize. Armstrong just went out.
And you got 64 in the middle there. Antoine Woods still in the game. He can bring it from inside. And Driscoll has Erickson on the sideline, has the feet inbounds. What a pickup for Cincinnati. Down near the 30-yard line.
Threw it over the head of Duke Thomas there, and Duke Thomas just needed to keep giving ground.
Yeah.
Duke Thomas kind of leveled off there at corner, and they got it in over the top of his head.
Cincinnati hurrying up here in the far sideline. Jason Garrett.
Got to practice everything, so you practice your challenge.
Yep, got the red flag on the sideline.
At first glance, I thought he got both feet down, but again, take a look at her.
Dallas is challenging the ruling on the field.
1 down
of a completed catch.
Maintaining
Timeout.
possession.
I think he's got it. He's got it.
Cowboys will be using their 2nd timeout if they don't win this review, and they may not.
Changing healthcare for the better.
All right, Alex Erickson. Both feet in.
Money in the bank.
Confirmed.
Ball, right foot down, left foot down. Good call by the official right on top of it. And John Hussey, our referee, just a moment ago said the ruling is confirmed.
It's not that it stands, but it's confirmed. He was letting everyone know they got it right.
They get it right more than they get it wrong. I'll give them that.
So from the 31-yard line, a pickup of 28 yards. And Trey Carson hit in the backfield. Taco Charlton in on the stop. Antoine Woods there.
What I really love about the advent of the challenge flag is before you'd lay into that official and you'd use a lot of expletives, and that's the worst call I've ever seen, and how could you give them the catch? Now they just turn to you and say, you know, you got that red thing in your pocket. You really think it's that bad? Put it on the ground. We'll take a look.
And babe, so many people talk about how it slows the game down, but if we went back to the old way, everybody would be in an uproar if a call was wrong and they felt like it determined the game. So I'm a big instant replay fan.
Oh, breaking away down for a 1st down.
Now let me ask you this. So you're a Bill Belichick fan in the sense that he thinks every play should be reviewable. You still have your 2 challenges.
Yeah.
But you can just use them at any play. Right now, they're narrowly defined as to what you can challenge.
Well, that's basically what college is.
College,
College, they review every play.
Every play.
They can stop it at any point from upstairs. It's
I'm
not a
talking
coach's
about
challenge. Yeah, like it is in the NFL. Josh Malone on that pickup to the 19-yard line. Cincinnati only ran 18 offensive plays in the 1st half, and they've got more than that in the 3rd quarter alone. Trey Carson.
So let me see. I think you have Jeff Driscoll, former Florida Gators quarterback.
Yeah.
Trey Carson, former A&M running back.
Oh,
Josh
we're going
Malone,
the SEC right
Josh
here.
Malone,
Here we
former
go.
wide receiver at Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken.
Here we go. Tennis, SEC.
Everywhere, man.
You ever notice
And
when
in the
people
broadcast booth, you got a Bayou Bengal.
You ever notice when people say, if I'm not mistaken, they know they're not mistaken. But you toss it out there. You know, if I'm not mistaken. I know. If I'm not mistaken, that's a false start right there.
I'm just saying, fellas, good football players come out of that Southeastern
5-yard
Conference.
penalty. 2nd down.
Well, you won't get an argument here.
You know what? That's the great thing, though, about, you know, when you leave. When I left the SEC and was able to come to the NFL and just see how people did it differently in the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. And, you know, football is football, but there's a different way in parts of the country that they go about the game.
Second down from the 18. And fighting his way towards the end zone. Oh, it's another. It's CIN Carter. At first I thought it was 87 C.J. Uzoma, who was another SEC guy, but it's CIN Carter from the Big Ten, Nebraska instead.
The Big Ten plays a certain style of football. They're going to run it for the most part up there. It is funny how the conferences they all develop.
Have their identity,
Big 12's
man.
going to throw it around.
Identity.
SEC's throwing it around more now. How about that? Well, they ran it around in the Rose Bowl against a Big 12 team. Trey Carson towards the goal line, and there's the signal. He's in for the touchdown. Liberty Ilos, Trey Carson with the touchdown.
I do like the fact that they let him be a little expressive after they score.
His own version of the Icky Shuffle.
That knee did not get to the ground, did it? I think the knee was on another player. Obviously, all scoring plays are reviewed, so Jason Garrett would not have to throw a challenge flag here. Yeah, our referee, John Hussey, is coming in saying, hold on a second, they're taking a look at this up top. Again, this is a booth review. I think that's one of the best things the NFL did too with that challenge rule. You know, it always takes a little while to figure out this is good, this is not good, unintended consequences of certain rules that get implemented. But now scoring plays and change of possession, it's not up to the coach. They're going to look at it in the booth, and I think that's good because they're obviously critical plays.
Absolutely.
Change of possession and scoring.
And you know, at the outset of this drive, we talked about Marvin Lewis as we take another look here. And him being the second longest tenured NFL head coach with the same team behind Bill Belichick. Well, this is a veteran move right here as they line up for the two-point conversion with 1:10 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, we have a lot of time
to play. A single point would tie it at 10. Marvin Lewis is going to go ahead and go for 2 here. So it will not be a tie game after this play. To the back of the end zone, taking a shot was John Ross, and he holds on for the two-point conversion to make it an 11-10 Cincinnati lead.
That's a heck of a catch right there because he knows coming across the middle he's going to get hit.
Good ball and good catch. I mean, Jeff Driscoll looked great on that drive.
And he looked pretty darn good last week too. Jeff Driscoll did.
There's John Ross in the slot, 15, and boom.
Jamil Showers.
Yeah.
Way to hold on to the football, young fella.
Yeah, John Ross, he of again the 4.22 40, fastest 40 run at the combine. Played a total of 17 snaps last year. Got his hands on 1 football and fumbled that one. So they drafted him, and you sit there and you say, "Oh man, we got John Ross on one side, we got AJ Green on the other. How are they going to stop us?" Battled injuries all season long. Got into Marvin Lewis's doghouse a little bit.
First-round pick out of Washington. He was the Pac-12 Player of the Year his last year at Washington, in which he had 17 touchdown catches. Kickoff goes over the head of Trey Williams and out of the end zone. The Cowboys will take over at their own 25-yard line. On Monday, Jason Garrett and the Cowboys invited the Watts Bears to come to practice. The Watts Bears, created by the Los Angeles Police Department, a program to serve the youth residing in one of the most gang-affiliated and recurrently violent communities of South Central LA. The Watts Bears watched practice, got to lead the team in the pre-practice stretch, met with coaches and players afterwards. What a great scene in Oxnard.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Being a player and seeing those kids react to how big you are, not the fact that you are in the NFL,
right?
But they look up and their necks are breaking to try to see your face, man. It's a great feeling.
On the kicking team, Dallas is elected to take that 5-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. First down.
Illegal formation on the kickoff team. You have to have 5 men to each side of the kicker.
5 men to each side of the kicker. 2 of them have to be from the numbers to the outside, to the sideline. And all of them have to be within 1 yard of where the ball is being kicked. So
No running starts anymore.
Nope. Somewhere along the line, they didn't adhere to one of those.
So Cooper Rush is out of the game in the 5th round draft pick. Mike White gets his opportunity, and he is hit, and down he goes. Jordan Willis.
Yeah, the protection has not been good for these backup quarterbacks tonight.
Now, babe, I know that there's been a lot of conversation about Chaz Green's confidence. This is technique. He's not moving his feet. He's getting beat. He's reaching. The principles of playing tackle is to get into space and create a lane away from your quarterback. And he's just like we talked about with those cornerbacks. He's getting to a position in the stands, and he's panicking when the guy gets to him.
And if I'm not mistaken, he went to an SEC school.
Florida. Sure did, Florida.
Deep downfield, incomplete. Mikael McKay.
You know, he would have liked to make that catch because he went to school at Cincinnati.
That's right.
Yeah, Red Bengals right there in his shot. I thought he was going to come down with this one. Made a good attempt to get up and go get it. Mike White gave him a ball that at least he could make a play for here.
Big play McKay in college at Cincinnati, unable to make the big play here.
Real good job by the defender. You see the defensive back there going through his hands. And you know the ball's got to come in between those two hands, right? So that arm, instead of swatting down on the ball, he comes up through him and makes a real nice play.
Kavari Russell out of Notre Dame, the defender there. The pass goes incomplete. And it's punt time for the Cowboys.
That was an ugly 3 and out.
Well, I'll tell you
Mike
what,
White
man,
saying, boy, I hope it gets better than this.
Based on what I watched that series, couple series before that, it's a lot of questions that need to be answered. I think we talk about how good this offensive line is for Dallas, the first 5 that walks out there, but there are some areas where they need to address behind those guys, especially when you deal with what you deal with at the line of scrimmage, man.
This is Darius Phillips taking the punt at the 25, has running room down the sideline, and it's a return of nearly 25 yards. Call it 23 yards for Darius Phillips, the rookie out of Western Michigan. That's the end of the 3rd quarter here at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, as the Bengals now lead Dak and the Cowboys 11-10. Tonight we pick Byron Jones, 4th year out of UConn. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Byron Jones making the conversion back from safety to right cornerback this year. Has looked very strong in training camp in Oxnard. Cincinnati takes over at midfield. Deep down the sideline, there's a flag. There's some bumping going on. Jordan Lewis defending on Auden Tate.
Just got to turn for the football. They've done such a poor job in these first 2 preseason games, Cowboys corners, of turning for the football. He's got good position.
Defense number 27. The ball placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic. First down.
He did the hard part. He's up on the top of your screen on the right. It's in the hip high. You just can't do that last shove there. You see, I mean, that was just
a bunch of DBs are going to say, what in the world does this 300-pounder know? But that's just staying in phase. I've been around a lot of good ones and staying in phase, playing. We saw Cincinnati's defensive back do the exact thing how you're supposed to do it. Play through the receiver. Don't panic at the end and the top of the route.
Well, that shove.
Appreciate that,
Ryan. Offense, number 60. 5-yard penalty. First down.
TJ Johnson. Matt Barkley is now in at quarterback for Cincinnati. That was a
USC, huh?
Yeah, USC. How highly touted was he coming out of high school going to USC? Ball was knocked away.
Another flags. Modern day high school. Matt Barkley. Yeah, he was going to be the next big thing. And
first freshman to start at quarterback at Modern Day High School since
Matt Leinart?
Todd Marinovich.
Todd Marinovich.
Personal foul. Defense, number 53. A hit to the head and neck area of a defenseless receiver. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
So that was not the lowering the helmet. It was the defenseless receiver, Justin March Lillard.
Todd Marinovich, by the way, who was my ball boy in high school.
How old are you?
He was about 8 years. No, he wasn't even born yet, as a matter of fact. Here's a replay here. Let's see. So the defenseless receiver, there we go.
Yeah, bang, bang, but they're trying to take it out of football.
And again, they're going to overcall these things in the preseason.
And Barkley with the completion to Jordan Franks.
And that well, we got another Cowboy down.
Out of bounds. Blocked where we can't see
Showers.
The number, or is it Jamil Showers? It is, we're confirmed it is Showers, 28. Oh no. Oh no.
Yep.
Of course, he's been on the practice squad for the
that left
Cowboys.
knee just gave out. You can see that.
Yep. Of course, he played quarterback at Texas A&M. Battled Johnny Manziel for that starting quarterback spot, and then he transferred to UTEP out of Shoemaker High School in Killeen, Texas.
Battled Dak Prescott here.
That's right. Well, 2 years ago.
Camp.
Yeah. And then as they tend to him on the sideline, play resumes here. As he's out of bounds. Doesn't look good for Jamil. It's Mark Walton, the running back, or the rookie out of Miami.
That's great penetration from the inside of this defensive line, knocking pullers off. Cincinnati was trying to get this play to the perimeter, just didn't have enough time to get there. Pullers were knocked off. You get a plus on your grade sheet on Monday for that right there, babe. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but that's a plus on the grade sheet.
That's a 5 technique and a 3-4 got that a lot. Right? Marcus knows
that
from
was
experience.
absolutely.
It may not shown up on in a box score, but it showed up where it counted with the coaches. Pass goes incomplete, 4th down. You talked about Jamil Showers, and 2 years ago, it was basically a little earlier than this in camp. It was Jamil Showers and Dak Prescott battling for the 3rd quarterback spot for the Cowboys behind Tony Romo and Kellen Moore.
You see Jamil Showers getting taken back into the Cowboys locker room and examined there.
And you look at Jamil and his body looks totally different in 2 years as he converted to safety. Different type of position, obviously, and you hope for the best for Jamil Showers, who I believe is out of practice squad eligibility now. 14-10, Cincinnati has taken a 4-point lead over Dallas. Time to play in this one at AT&T Stadium. We haven't seen Zeke Elliott on the field tonight, but that means we can't hear from Zeke Elliott. Let's hear from him.
I mean, I think in the past I wasn't really asked to run as many complex routes, but you know, now I have you know, a couple more routes to add to my route tree.
Ezekiel Elliott catching the football out of the backfield. That will be a big part of the Cowboys offense, you would think, Babe Laufenberg.
Well, they hope to make it. More times that guy has the ball in his hands, the better it is.
Jonathan Brown's kick hits the crossbar. There's that elite soccer ability from Jonathan Brown.
Now, if he makes it, he would be the first African-American kicker in the NFL.
Wow.
And he's a guy that was, as Bill says, he was a soccer player. Now, they were all soccer players, but he came out and just basically tried out kicking. And got a tremendous leg. Tremendous leg, yeah.
Hit one from 55 earlier.
25-yard line, first down for Mike White and the Cowboys offense as Darius Jackson breaks into the secondary. How about Darius Jackson? 3rd year out of Eastern Michigan, back with the Cowboys. He was a 6th-round draft pick a couple of years ago, then went off to Cleveland. Let's bring in a 6-time Pro Bowl offensive lineman, Nate Newton, who has been in Oxnard watching the Cowboys. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, fellas, boy. And this has been a shaky deal with our starting guard and our starting center out. We got guys that's running second team is into the fourth quarter. We got Flemings, we got Joe Looney, we got guys still running in the second team because they have been like it's been like First Friday on the day before Christmas, bro. It's been an open door to the quarterback.
All right, so Nate, how concerned are you with what you're seeing from the backup offensive lineman?
I'm very concerned because Joe Looney is a fit. He can play center and guard. We got to pray that everybody comes back because after our first five, I don't think after Looney in the first five, can Fleming play? Can Kadeem Edwards play? We don't know. That's why they're still in the game. Is Stanton going to come forward? Is Campos? Is your mama going to come forward? I don't know. Maybe it's on somebody else's team. You guys been calling a great game, but our offensive line has been not very good tonight.
And by the way, he's not talking about your mama. There's a player on the Cowboys named Damian Mama.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
that's what.
I'm sorry, Damian Mama.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Out of USC.
But so it's been a hard night for our offensive line. The quarterbacks, you can't get a true look at our second and third team quarterbacks because it's been ugly. And you can't mix up the offense. You can't run what you're going to run in the first week. So everybody's basically doing what they have to do and stay as basic as they can so these guys so we can see if our seventh and eighth guys on this team or not.
There's Lance Lenore. Catches the pass from Mike White, and it's a first down for the Cowboys inside the 40.
Nate, let me ask you a question, man. We've had a conversation about Chaz Green and his confidence. It looks like technique to me. What's your observation of Chaz Green right now?
He has no confidence. You know that, Marcus. And you and Babe, you can see that. He had no confidence from the first day he walked into training camp. And as soon as he become technique unsound, he falls apart, and he never recovers. It's a bad thing. It's not a very good thing. And I know they're trying to bring him back and let him compete, but this kid has lost his confidence.
And he's out of there now. The right tackle is Jake Campos, the rookie out of Iowa State, number 63.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
He's out of there now. The right tackle is Jake Campos, the rookie out of Iowa State.
A young guy that needs development. All our third team guys need a lot of work and a lot of development. They need a lot of technique. They need to work with Coach Alexander and get themselves right. What we need, fellas, is a seventh and eighth guy to be able to stand up if we have a slight injury.
And that's basically all the number is Darius Jackson once again into the secondary. Fights through a tackle down near the 25 at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, you're going to see all our guys are pretty decent run guys, but what we need is guys that can protect when it comes to pass protection.
And of course, we saw that last year when Tyron Smith went down.
I'll say this, so we know they've got 5 good ones up front, right? The
Yes,
Cowboys.
we do.
Everybody going into football, be it Pee Wee, junior high, high school, everybody I talk to, they say, you know, we could be pretty good, but our offensive line isn't any good. Offensive linemen are hard to find at every level, are they not?
They are. Every level, college, pros, Pee Wee, and you know, and the amazing thing about it, babe, and my man can attest that we love to run block. I mean, 90% of us can run block, but if you want to stay in the NFL any length of time, you have to be able to pass block because it's all about third downs and red zone, and you're gonna throw a lot when you get in those positions.
You told the whole truth and nothing but the truth. That's why they pay those guys that get to the quarterback so much money.
You know, and I'm sitting here laughing because the sack that my man Fleming gave up, he got hijacked, and the other guy just got ran by. And that was Chaz Green. I'm like, and Lindsay was like, because I was like, whoa, whoa, and each one was sacks, and you could just see it coming because they lack that confidence. They got a great coach in Paul Alexander. He's teaching good technique, but it just seemed not to be translating with our backup guys at this time.
Jordan Willis got the sack of Mike White, and the holding call on Jake Campos was declined.
And I believe that's his second one.
It is.
On Jake Campos. Interesting story with him. His dad grew up in Laredo. He grew up in Iowa. He was born in Iowa. Jake Campos. His dad went to high school in Laredo. Always been Cowboy fans. Mark Colombo called him during the 7th round. The Cowboys offensive line coach, assistant offensive line coach, called Jake Campos during the 7th round and said, if nobody drafts you, we want to sign you as a free agent. He said, I was hoping no one would draft me because I wanted to go to the Cowboys.
Wow.
Maybe the only player in NFL history that said, please don't draft me. I don't want to get drafted.
Well, no, he's the second guy, babe. I was the same way. Don't grab me. I want to come to the Cowboys. You know, and lucky and fortunate I had a long career with the Cowboys.
I love it.
Jake Campos, by the way, had a 4-point GPA in high school.
You want to hear his major?
What was it?
Same as yours, biological systems engineering. I had talking to him. He said, "Yeah, math and science always came easy for me." And I said, "Oh yeah, me too." I know. Sure, all of us.
Well, I would.
All right, it
was nice talking to you guys. Y'all have
thank
a great
you, Nate.
night, man.
Nate,
Y'all
take
have
care,
a very
man.
great night. Thank you very much.
Nate has decided he does not want to analyze the field goal attempt from Brett Maher from 45 yards away. It is good. Thanks to Nate Newton, the 6-time Pro Bowler. Too bad he has no eligibility left. We return to AT&T Stadium in a moment. Zach Martin, and there is Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert was Zach Martin's roommate at Notre Dame, and now Tyler Eifert's sister is Zach Martin's roommate.
Go ahead.
They're married.
Yeah.
Got married a couple of years ago. How about that?
I would never let my sister date a football player. Anybody I knew. Any of my roommates, if they ever said, I got two, if they ever said, "Hey, what about your," I'd say, "Oh, she's married."
Morgan Eifert became Morgan Martin. And Darius Phillips on the return, and look who made the tackle. It's the kicker.
Nice.
Brett Maher. 14-13 is our score thanks to Brett Maher's field goal, and now he makes the kicker. He's probably seen Dan Bailey do that, and so he does it himself.
Look at that.
The Ford scoring drive went 48 yards in 9 plays, capped by the 45-yard field goal by Maher.
Special teams been a little leaky on their coverage teams tonight.
I felt sorry for Maher last week. His first kick of the season's from 52 yards. It's like, can I get a chippy?
And Barkley dumps it off. Motoring down the sideline and caught from behind by Tapper down at the 15-yard line. That's Brian Hill, the second-year man out of Wyoming. He goes for 44 yards.
Bill Lazor is the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati. Again, he took over 2 games in last season, but he loves to screen. Probably nobody will screen more than he will, or have it called, and work to perfection there. It's funny, the screen is a hard thing to coach up and coordinate. You can't just throw one a game. You got to really work at it. The good screen teams spend a lot of time on it in practice.
Charles Tapper flashing that speed, catching him from behind down the sideline. Getting outside is Brian Hill.
Getting back to it, we were talking about that offensive line. It's hard to find offensive linemen at any level. So Marcus, did anyone ever approach you and say, "Hey Marcus, what do you think about coming to the other side of the ball"?
Not a chance, babe.
Not a chance you would have done it, or not a chance?
Not a chance I would have done it, and I never was approached about it. I will say this though, a lot of times you find
those left tackles get paid.
I was about to say, a lot of times you find out later in life you should have been more willing to move to that position, man.
Brian Hill up the middle. Of course, Marcus Spears was a terrific basketball player growing up in high school. So how did that decision come about?
Should have played left tackle.
Yeah.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
That's funny.
How did that decision come about at LSU, where you were a tight end, you grew into a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
You could have grown into an offensive tackle just as easily.
LSU was one of the schools that were willing. Coach Nick Saban was my coach at LSU. He was willing to let me play both. I think in the back of his mind he knew that football season and practice would be too hard. But it was one of those schools willing to let me try both, and I tried it for about 3 days and figured out quick.
Well, that was the Brian Hill drive for the Cincinnati Bengals as he catches the touchdown pass from Matt Barkley. A 59-yard drive, and Brian Hill will keep that football, it appears.
A little easy right there, is it not? A little too easy?
Yeah.
One of those little pick plays there. He just tosses it out to the left flat, and he says, "Oh, well, this is pretty easy." Charvarius Ward just couldn't keep up with him.
And And so Cincinnati extends its lead here midway of the fourth quarter. A 21-13 lead on the Cowboys after that 59-yard drive. It started with Brian Hill catching a pass out of the backfield for 44. It ends with him going 6 for 6. Stadium tours are available daily. For more info and to purchase tours, visit DallasCowboys.com/tours. Inside AT&T Stadium, where it was 101 degrees outside at kickoff. Very comfortable indoors. And Trey Williams with the return. Gets up past the 30-yard line. Let's check in on the sideline and Lindsey Draper.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, I am with wide receiver Alan Hearns. Alan, first of all, you just told me this is your first time in AT&T Stadium. What is your reaction to this place?
It's dope, man. It's a great environment. You know, it doesn't feel nothing like a preseason game, you know, with everyone in the stands, you know. So it felt real good just coming out here and being my first time playing in the stadium.
Okay, let's talk about your camp so far. Been out in Oxnard, California. Great weather out there.
Yeah.
But what has it been like meshing not only with a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces around you, but with Dak Prescott?
I think it's been going well, you know, especially from us, you know, from a receiver standpoint. I think we've been doing a great job of controlling what we can. You know, we got a lot of guys that can move around and play different positions, you know, so just getting acclimated with the offense. You know, even you see in today's game, you know, we got guys rotating. You know, when everyone knows what they're doing, you know, keep guys fresh and things like that, you know. So I think the chemistry is going well.
Dak said one of the things that you guys want to improve on this year in the offense is really stretching the field. And being new here, how much do you feel like you can contribute to that?
I think I can contribute to that a lot, you know, and also other guys. You know, we know going against teams, you know, they're going to try to stack the box, you know, to take Zeke out of the game, especially with our good offensive lineman and our running game, you know. So we got to make them pay once they give us one-on-one coverage on the outside. Okay, obviously your first time at AT&T Stadium, but also your mom's first time. Guys, we turned around. She's not too far behind us up there. If we could get a camera on her. Hey, so fun. How much fun is your mom having? You know her better than anyone. Oh, man, she's having the time of her life right now. You know, she's been excited probably like a month before she even got here, just talk about how she can't wait to see me play. But, you know, she loves coming to my games and supporting me and things like that, you know. So I'm sure she's happy right now.
All right, Alan, do good this year. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Tavon.
Alan Hearns, who went to Miami to school and grew up in the Miami area, Carroll City High School. Dalton Schultz with his second reception on this possession, but it is short of a first down.
Jason Garrett want to go for it here on fourth down? Appears he is.
Yep.
Cowboys down by 8, 21-13. I think in a regular season you'd be punting this ball.
6.5 minutes left.
But
yeah.
Am I right, Marcus?
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of time left in the football game. It's going to be something quick here. This offensive line cannot hold up. So whatever it is, it's just got to come out of Mike White's hands.
Darius Jackson back alongside him. And there's the attempt to the left side to Mikael McKay.
That was very odd. He was running a slant there from the left side and it almost looked like he either tripped or stopped. One of the two, and the ball gets thrown out in front of him.
Him and the DB got tangled up. He might have been trying to push him up a little bit before slanting in and trying to flatten that thing out. That's been the difference, babe. What is? I'm used to a slant going and getting there quick. These guys are starting to push up, push out, and then back in.
Yeah, you want
separation.
To me, you want to threaten his outside, let him think you're running the fade up outside, get his hips turned, and then come up back underneath him. Can't be afraid of contact on that.
So ball goes over to Cincinnati from the Dallas 41. And Brian Price, the man out of UTSA, penetrates that backfield for a loss of yardage. All right, Alan Hearns talked about this is his first time ever in AT&T Stadium. Here's some trivia for you. Who are the only two players suited up tonight who played at Texas Stadium? I'll ponder that for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Sean Lee, one of them?
All of a
Lattice,
sudden we got the answer. No time to ponder.
And Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton in high school at Katy High School.
Okay, that's not fair.
The 2005 state championship game at Texas Stadium against Marcus, Greg McElroy, and South Lake Carroll,
right?
I said Marcus because, of course, Marcus and Greg McElroy team up on the SEC network.
Who get the W that game?
It was Greg
Was it
McElroy
Carroll?
and
Yeah.
South Lake Carroll against
A funny story, when we first moved out, I was living in South Lake. Babe had no kids, my wife and I. And I got the first tax bill. Saw how much we were paying for schools. Said, we getting out of here ASAP.
I'm still paying it. Logan Woodside, the new quarterback for Cincinnati. That's out of bounds.
Good effort there.
I thought you'd appreciate that trivia question, though.
Nice.
There, Marcus.
That is a great trivia, man. I knew Andy was from this area.
Well, he's from Houston, Katy in the Houston area. And by the way, Andy Dalton, he didn't become a starter at Katy High School until his senior year. What a great story.
Really?
He was a late bloomer. He redshirted his freshman year at TCU, and he became the starting quarterback his redshirt freshman year. And, of course, he led TCU to not only a Fiesta Bowl, but a Rose Bowl win over Wisconsin.
Number 2 ranking. Right?
That's right, exactly. Unbeaten, and number 2 behind Auburn, I believe, that year when Cam Newton and Auburn won the national championship. By the way, lost in the Fiesta Bowl to Boise State, quarterbacked by the Cowboys' current quarterbacks coach, Kellen Moore.
That was a phenomenal game.
It was.
Was Scandrick? No, that was after Scandrick, right?
Yeah, that was just after Scandrick,
okay.
Orlando.
So
yeah.
Tyron Crawford, maybe?
He probably played on that team. That's right. That's right. And
that Boise pipeline here to the Cowboys.
That's exactly right.
It
continues to this day, as a matter of fact.
Fortunately,
it's
Cedric Wilson, the receiver, they took in the 6th round. He's on injured reserve now, hurt in training camp.
It's almost like cornerbacks. You can't have enough wide receivers, apparently, for the Cowboys as they've had injuries. Cole Beasley's missed the last week. Tavon Austin not playing tonight. Not serious injuries, but they're holding them out.
It's camp, man. I mean, look, I know it's exciting, and being on this side of it now is fun to watch. I hated camp, dreaded it. I mean, with every fiber in my being, I hated it, man. Babe was there with his green jersey on, feeling good.
No, we never did that.
So, Babe, did you like camp?
I didn't mind it as much as the guys who had to bang hit, as much as the guys who had to hit every day.
Oh,
there were days, though, Marcus, you don't think we worked. There were days we could only get 9 holes in.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So,
exactly.
I don't think you guys had it.
I'm telling you, man.
Mike White throwing into double coverage to Dalton Schultz, just off the mark. Had a completion to Rico Gathers there. I've always loved training camp myself.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I walked out there the first day. It was so funny, man. I saw L.A., Larry Allen I'm referring to, and Flozell, and Bill Parcells like to go live goal line the first practice. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I just was devastated. I could have threw up. I literally could have threw up. Yes.
Rookie year.
I could have just. Oh man, I was so nervous and terrified. I'm going to. Welcome to the NFL, kid.
You're a first-round draft pick. You shouldn't have been nervous.
Yeah, right. That didn't mean anything to Bill Parcells or Larry Allen.
Make sure you go to DallasCowboys.com and see that documentary on Bill Parcells, and that training camp in San Antonio and Larry Allen is prominently featured with the wireless microphone on Bill Parcells. Players find a new way to get around at training camp this year in Oxnard. Dak Prescott purchased scooters for some of his offensive teammates as a way to travel around camp. Tank Lawrence and a few defensive players also had scooters to help them get to practice and their energy. It's such a long walk to practice, they probably have to go all of about 30 yards.
Yeah, sure.
Cincinnati back on offense at the 28-yard line. You know, Dak had one of those scooters, and then he decided he got tired of everyone borrowing the scooters, so he just got them for his teammates.
Borrowing?
Yeah.
Borrowing.
That means they're going to bring it back. I don't think that was happening.
That's right.
Oh, it's nice to be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
And he's still working on that rookie fourth-round money for now. But Dak has looked good. Physically, he just looks really good. He said at one point this offseason he got down to 217 pounds. Wow. His playing weight last year was 235. And he says he's around 230. He says by midseason he'll probably be up to 235. Can't do as much cardio with the playing games on Sundays, I guess.
Makes sense.
Well, you hope he doesn't have to do a lot of cardio.
Right.
running for his life.
Like that Atlanta game last year. Here with less than 4 minutes to play, and Logan Woodside at quarterback for Cincinnati now.
You talked too about Larry Allen, Marcus. That was a guy, the one year he would go and he played guard, and then on third downs, passing situations, he would kick out and play left tackle. And then make the first down, he'd go back into guard.
Is he the greatest ever made?
At guard. He is. I mean, it's a very short list. I haven't seen them all, obviously, but I've seen a lot of them. Right. And if you just told me, hey, Larry Allen's your guard, I say, okay, I'm not getting
I'm not getting touched.
Yeah, I'm not getting touched. But to go out there and play tackle,
that's
guard, in one game, it's one thing, you know, when they make a guy make a change from guard to tackle, it takes a year. Right. And I mean, you tell them ahead of time, and we'll work you through in the spring. And no, this was during the game. Third down, he kicks out. That's why he's up here in the Ring of Honor. But he was down in San Antonio when the Cowboys are practicing there now. He wasn't playing now. Okay, he had retired. He's down there. I'm looking at Tyron Smith's out there and a couple other guys. I said, Larry, these guys are pretty darn good up front. I said, you think you could have started? and he just said, babe, there's 5 of those things. I'd have got me one of them.
Even if it was center.
I said, Larry, you could have had anyone you want.
Anyone.
You just pick where you want to play, and we'll move the other guy.
7-Eleven, all 7 special edition Cowboys Cups only at participating 7-Eleven and Stripe stores for a limited time. By the way, we just saw a reception made by the German exchange student Moritz Boehringer for Cincinnati, number 49. Made a reception a moment ago.
Cowboys trying to get this ball back here, down 8 points. Now I'm going to ask you, will the Cowboys go for 2? If they score and tie it up at 21-13. We saw Marvin Lewis.
They better. They better, right?
They would have to.
Yeah.
I don't know how
that's a situation where you have to go for 2.
Yeah.
You can't kick it.
Jason Garrett saying, please don't put me in that position.
Is
they don't like to extend these games.
Nobody wants to play overtime in the preseason.
You know when the Cowboys did play overtime? At Minnesota in 2006. Finished in a 10-10 tie.
Bill Parcells.
Mike Vanderjagt missed a couple of kicks.
That's right.
And Tony Romo threw for 349 yards in that game. Do you know that is? No one's touched that since.
Wow.
349.
He played the entire game at quarterback?
I don't know if he played the whole game, but I knew he threw for 349 in that thing. And again, it's still
he was rolling.
Nobody had thrown for 300 yards for 6 years till Romo did it. And nobody's thrown for 349 in the preseason.
You know, the most remarkable thing about that,
not the 349?
Not the 349, is that Babe remembers it.
Well, I mean, you know, guy throws for 349 yards in a preseason game. You know what's funny about that, too? Now, that was 2006, so he ultimately did become the starter kind of halfway through, 6 games into the season, 7 games. And these guys like that, they always tell you, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready. And you may say, you can poo-poo it all you want. Well, it's third team, it's this, it's that. Nobody's thrown for that amount of yardage since. It just tells you something.
Told you a lot about Tony Romo, and turned out later that year he became the Cowboys starting quarterback.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. He grabbed that rebound.
That's basketball.
Rico gathers.
That is not an over-the-back call.
I was just going to say, that's over the back. Rico's had a couple of shots earlier, dropped one, but now he goes and makes a spectacular play.
That is a great play. Using your body, man. Use the tools that you've been given. Just winning 8 soup off the top of his head.
Wow.
Former Baylor basketball player.
Great concentration. That may be what Rico needs. He needs traffic around him when he's going
there
up.
we go.
Grab that one off Chris Worley.
Yeah, he just said, you know, I'll take that, thank you.
Darius Jackson trying to get outside. Okay, so what are the Cowboys going to do at tight end? You got 4 candidates.
This is
as we'll go to the 2-minute warning, and we'll broach that subject when we come back here to AT&T Stadium with the Cowboys trailing but threatening to perhaps tie this one up 21-13. 21-13 with 2 minutes left in the preseason home opener. Cowboys got out to in the early 10-0 lead. Cincinnati has come back with the backups here in the second half to take the lead at 21-13. But the 5th-round draft pick out of Western Kentucky, Mike White, has the Cowboys moving in Cincinnati's end of the field at the 42-yard line. And throws short to Darius Jackson. He gets inside the 35, down to the 34 with the clock running.
3rd reception of the night for Darius Jackson. He's had himself a nice ball game.
Some good plays today. Running hard, breaking a few tackles.
Now 3rd and 3 from the 34. Moving around in the pocket through the hands of Darius Jackson, and it'll bring up a 4th down play. The Reliant Bring the Energy Defensive Player of the Game. There's Taco making a stop. Taco Charlton, the Defensive Player of the Game, brought to you by Reliant and NRG Company. 3 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss.
Reliant, where the Cowboys will be playing in 2 weeks.
Yep. Less than 2 weeks, a Thursday game to wrap up the preseason. Michael Irvin will be joining us in the booth as usual for that game, and he'll be talking a lot about the U taking on LSU at AT&T Stadium. And Marcus Spears on this 4th down play goes incomplete. Marcus, that's a Sunday. 2 weeks from tomorrow, LSU and Miami right here.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it, but you know, I'll be watching my Tigers very closely.
There we go.
Very closely. They're searching for an identity right now, man. Had a transfer from Ohio State, Joe Burrow, come in at quarterback. They hoping he's the answer. So we'll see how it goes. And Mark Richt has things rolling down there at UM.
Yep. Be fun. And of course, September 15th, TCU plays Ohio State here. So we got some big college football matchups coming up here at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys are back in action as Cincinnati will take the knee here. Next Sunday night, the Arizona Cardinals. Babe, you'll be back on the radio on Sunday night, as that's a network game.
I will. Brad Sham has missed me tremendously. He doesn't know it, but he has.
He has.
Okay.
He hadn't told me that, but he does, man.
As I told someone, I'm going to get back there, and the old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, the flip side to that, out of sight, out of mind. He's going to say, who are you? We've been doing fine without you.
Sham can't hide it, babe. He loves you, man.
And Marcus, it's been great having you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, man.
First 2 preseason games.
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a bunch, man, working with 2 pros.
I do know.
Oh, yeah. Who do you work with?
You guy by the name of Bill Jones and Babe Laufenberg. You know.
I do know this. We have to be the tallest booth in America.
We are.
Stand.
Yeah. We are.
Okay,
stand up. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
6'4" across the board, right? Yeah.
Marcus bringing the muscle as well.
Bringing the muscle. It'll take a lot to get through that door over there, man.
And Marcus is going to have a busy football season covering the SEC for the SEC Network.
We're ready, man. We're ready to kick this thing off. It's going to be a great football season in college.
So I wonder who's going to win the SEC this year.
Well, I got Georgia winning. I picked Georgia.
Do you really?
Picked Georgia preseason, man.
Nice.
So we'll see what happens, man.
Who's going to win the NFC East this season, Marcus? Put you on the spot there.
I would right now go Philly again.
Okay. All right.
But we'll see how things shake out.
All right. As Cincinnati puts the finishing touches on this 21-13 win over the Cowboys, Marvin Lewis and Jason Garrett shaking hands. Dak Prescott had a nice night as the Cowboys took the early lead. We'll be back to wrap things up here in just a moment from AT&T Stadium as the Cowboys will take on Arizona on Sunday night. More from AT&T